if they can stop the 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. 2 programs, 2 stories. One school, the traditional power, seeking to reach the heights of past glory. The other school still learning to fly. Now Miami is a Hurricane at maximum force after their win over Florida State. They're dreaming of a national title in South Florida. But this is not your tired old Temple team anymore. The Owls are finding their way. Can they soar today in the face of the Hurricanes? We're at Vet Stadium as the Hurricanes get ready to take on the Temple Owls in Big East football. Hi, everybody. Dave Sims along with Jeff Boston. Good to have you with us as we look at a Miami ball club that has had 2 weeks to feel good about itself. That win over Florida State. And the reason, Ken Dorsey, their sophomore quarterback, plays like a 15-year NFL veteran.
The guy's had a super sophomore season, no question about it. The one thing about it for the Miami program, they passed the litmus test in beating Florida State. In South Florida, they call this the drive. Guess what? Dorsey to Shockey for the 27-24 win over Florida State. One thing about Dorsey that you're going to notice, sophomore, 19 years old, mature beyond years, 163 straight attempts without an interception. His last interception was against these Temple Owls. He needs to have a big day this afternoon.
How about the Temple Owls? 4 games to play, 3 here at the Vet. They're 2 wins away from being bowl eligible. That's how much things have changed. Put the onus on a guy named Bernardo Sharps, who only leads the conference in rushing.
He's a leading rusher in the conference, Dave. The one thing about it, if you're Temple, you have a home run threat at running back. 4 times this season he's had runs over 60 yards. 4 times he's rushed for over 100 yards. He's only really been held intact against Virginia Tech. Look at his numbers. The one thing that stands out, his average touchdown run, 33 yards. Bernardo Sharps has to have a huge day this afternoon to keep his team in this game.
He will be a marked man by Dan Morgan and that Miami defense. Now, Temple's defense, they make plays, and yes, you know about what Miami's offense is capable of. Up next, Mike Gleason in the AT&T studio as we're moments away from kickoff here in Philly. Welcome back to Philadelphia, everybody. We are seconds away from starting this Temple-Miami game. It's homecoming here for Temple, and before the kickoff, Frank Fort spoke with Butch Davis about today's game.
Down here with Coach Butch Davis. Butch, a lot of euphoria, a lot of hype after beating Florida State. Have the guys been able to put that aside now and get their minds back on the business at hand, which is taking care of Temple today?
Absolutely, Frank. It didn't take long. Once you started watching film, realizing, you know, how much improvement, what good football team that Temple's become, it got our kids' attention. We've had good practices.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Butch Davis, the head coach of Miami. Now let's go back up to Dave and Jeff.
All right, Frank, thank you very much, and welcome to the broadcast team here in Philadelphia as we look at Almanese Boyles back on kickoff return duty today for the Temple Owls. Todd Severs out of Ankeny, Iowa, 6'3" sophomore, is going to get things going. Temple Owls wiped out Rutgers last week, and there's Bernardo Sharps. Pretty good return average. And a guy that's going to get a lot of touches this afternoon. Miami won the toss, decided to defer. They're kicking off, and we are underway. A high short kick taken by Sharps at the 5. 15, 20, some open space, 30, 35, 39-yard line, loose ball. And they're going to say it was down on contact back at the 41-yard line, but a good-looking return by Bernardo Sharps, as he goes for 36 yards on the return. Devin Scott, he'll start today for the Temple Owls. Look what he did last week against Rutgers. Only 2 incompletions, 3rd best in history. What an afternoon. And these Temple Owls, confidence riding high. They played well at Virginia Tech, and now another stern test today against the 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. 1st and 10, great field position at the 41-yard line. Dillard in motion, and Dillard gets it. Dillard to the corner. There's the new speed dimension here at Temple. That is good for a 1st down. Sean Dillard out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. 5'8" sophomore. The rest of the starters for the Temple Owls. Devin Scott completed 67% of his passes, 5 touches, 4 picks. And for the wide receivers, Greg Muckerson is a former quarterback, an option quarterback. He's their leading receiver with 31 catches. Dave Jovanovic, talk about an Iron Man, started every game, taken every snap for the last 2 years. Leads a big offensive line. And how about this? Miami, and a look that Sharps was not ready for, so he calls a timeout. Well, that's not good, burning a timeout with that 21 seconds into the game. Take a look at the defensive unit for the Miami Hurricanes. They come in, of course, after a week layoff after knocking off Florida State. William Joseph gets the start on the D-line. And without Damone Lewis, he's got a foot problem, a fractured bone. Dan Morgan, everything middle linebacker, among the top tacklers in the country. And yes, another Blades at Miami. Al following in the footpaths of Brian and Benny, his older brothers. Both of them were stars. Now, Morgan was born locally here in Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania, Philly suburb, but has been in Florida since he was about 13 years old. But he is everything you could want in a football player. And Butch Davis raved about him with us the other day.
Amazing statistic, double-digit tackles in 26 games. I bet when he started in Miami he was 6'5". Now he's about 6'3".
Came in as a running back, as all three starters at linebacker did when they first came to UM. First down play for the Owls. There's a reverse again. Get to the corner is Cobb. And Cobb tried to put a move on Mike Rump, but an 8-yard pickup.
You talk about an All-American football player. You talk about Dan Morgan. He's one of the semifinalists in the Butkus Award candidate voting. Big interception last week against Florida State, 2 weeks ago against Florida State. The one thing you'll notice about this young man, very instinctive football player, a knack for getting to the football. And I'll tell you what, when he gets there, he'll put a knot on you.
Where's number 44? His hero was Brian Bosworth, who was an All-American, as you remember, at the University of Oklahoma. Temple, second down and short. They roll. Scott in trouble. There's Morgan. Tackle for a loss. Morgan says that no, not gonna happen. Boy, he's got tremendous speed and quickness.
When we talked with Butch Davis, he said one thing that really stands out in my mind. If I'm going to change anything about Dan Morgan, I'm not changing anything. He does everything. Preparation, weightlifting, running. He wants to practice. We talked about his instinctiveness to getting to the football. You see it right there. Good student also. That's a big key.
Big loss to the 46, his third sack of the season. Outstanding performer. Here's Temple now, the third long out of the gun. They'll keep it on the ground to no avail because 44 was there with Dan Morgan. Unbelievable. Great explosion as he wipes out Sharps on that draw.
The one thing, if you're Temple, though, you can get away with this offensive series saying, you know what? We have loosened their defense up a little bit. Look at Morgan. The one thing about linebacker play, do it on their side of the ball. That's with just an uncanny ability of getting upfield, knowing where the ball is going to be. Good play.
George Radu back to punt for Temple. Out of Philadelphia's George Washington High School. Averaging 37 yards per kick. Santana Moss makes the fair catch at the 7-yard line. So a good exchange of field position for the Temple Owls. 43 yards on that punt. Bobby Wallace tried a little bit of a deception.
And when you have a team that's as quick as Miami is defensively, you need the gadget plays early to make them play a little bit more honest in the early parts of the game.
We'd expect out of Miami here because they've got great passer, terrific running backs, game-breaking wide receiver.
I'm more excited at seeing Temple's defense. Okay. Looking at the numbers and looking at the improvement, this is what I'm excited about watching.
First down play from the 7-yard line. Straight up the middle. That's D.J. Williams starting at fullback today. Freshman out of Concord, California. He was the USA Today Defensive Player of the Year at De La Salle High School. 6'2", 235 on 4.45 40. There's a look at Taylor Suman, top returning tackler in the Big East. James Jackson, a lot to like there, the top rusher 4 touchdowns. Went for 98 yards against Florida State. Martin Biblo leads a veteran and big offensive line. Here's a ball thrown outside, and it's caught. Reggie Wayne with the catch. 6'1" senior out of Marrero, Louisiana. And that moves the chains. First down for Miami. Russell Newman has been getting a lot of play. The sack leader with 4.5 coming into the game. Suman and Talley, 2 of the top linebackers in the Big East Conference. Talley leads in tackling, and Jamal Wallace, the number 2 tackler on the team, and a pretty good cover guy out of Port Norris, New Jersey. First and 10 for Miami. 25-yard line, and just a little bit offsides there. Dan Klecko. Yes, the son of Joe Klecko, 5-time All-Pro with the New York Jets.
And that's the one thing about when you miss time.
The ball, defense, offside. Still first down.
Dan Klecko was a freshman All-American and has really been hampered by the injury bug most of the year. You know, ankle, foot, knee. And when you haven't played much, Dave, anxious. A little bit anxious to get after it. I'll tell you what, he's like his father. He's cat quick.
Got the same motor. Hopes to play about 20 snaps today. He's about 80% of his normal efficiency. Long count, Dorsey. Jackson on the carry. Tries to turn the corner. Does. Nice hard run. Picks up the first down for Miami. James Jackson. Very, very outstanding performer out of Belgrade, Florida. 4th Union Military. So another first down for Miami. Keynes at the 38-yard line. Just underway here in Philadelphia. It's homecoming for the Temple Owls. Dorsey switching off line of scrimmage. Looks to throw, shorts it to Santana Moss. Moss tried to sell that one to the officials, to no avail. Here's Butch Davis. 6th season at Miami. Turned this program around. He's out of Arkansas. Class of 1974. And 44 wins in his 6 years. And Bobby Magnolia, Arkansas really loves it here in Philly. He's built a house right on the edges of Center City. Second down and 10 for the Canes. And off right up the middle, good DJ Williams. About a 3-yard gain.
And the one thing that both of these coaches, Butch Davis and Bobby Wallace, have brought back to their respective programs is D. And it's not defense, it's discipline. And I think it's probably more apparent with Miami. I think Miami was a program that was somewhat out of control. Dennis Erickson was there for a long time, and prior to that, Jimmy Johnson. But Butch made the tough decisions when he first got there. Now it's reaping the benefit.
And that 97 season when they went 5-6. That's bottoming out for Miami after tradition of national championships. 3rd and long. Dorsey throws. Should have been picked. Right in the hands of the free safety, Jamal Wallace. He was right there. Check that, Lacey had his hands right on it. And now Miami's going to have to punt.
If you're a Miami Hurricane fan, you're lucky that this ball didn't go the other way. We talked about Dorsey's streak of completing passes, attempts. That one should have gone the other way. You can see why some of these wide receivers have been switched to defensive backs.
Here's Freddie Capshaw. Pretty good punt. DeVito makes the catch, 18-yard line. Mac DeVito, one of many Temple players who have switched positions. A 42-yard punt, no return. We'll take a break. When we come back, Temple's going to have the ball at their own 18-yard line here in Big East football from Philadelphia. Well, while we were away, there was a penalty on Miami, holding penalty. They had a re-kick, a 35-yard punt, 15-yard return by Mac DeVito, and there's a holding penalty right here.
And you're talking about a huge penalty. This is a 37-yard difference in field of position. You know, your Miami team, there's one thing about having a week off. You know, it gets a lot of bodies healthy, although they're still missing a few people. Damian Lewis on that defensive line. but you lose your edge.
So instead of Temple, when we left you, they were going to put the ball in play from the 18. They now have it at Miami's 46-yard line. They'll go out of the gun. No score early on here. Devin Scott to throw. Got a little bit of time. Throws it over the middle. Wide open. And that's good, close to first down yardage for the Temple Owls. Their number 2 receiver, Charles Cobb, the sophomore out of Washington, D.C. Started the season 6 catches for 39 yards against Navy.
And one thing in talking to Butch Davis about the Temple offense, he said, you know, obviously Sharps is the real deal running back. He said, but their passing attack is high percentage, and you're going to see a lot of short passes that would be equivalent to runs.
He also noted that they're going to take their shots deep, too. Tight end moved quickly on that one. No flags on the play. Short run, and looks like they got the first down as they ran their fullback, Jason McKee. Cousin of Aaron McKee, plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, and he was a star basketball player at Temple a few years ago.
If you're Miami and you're looking at this game, Dave, only look back a couple years ago when Temple went to Virginia Tech and pulled the biggest shock, I think, in the 90s. This is not a bad Temple football. This is not the Temple you remember from 2 or 3 years ago.
You bet. 1st and 10. Temple on the move. Option. Scott, he's got the edge. Got some running room. 26-yard line. Nice pickup. You notice that Morgan got into that play a little bit late with help from his fellow linebacker, Chris Campbell, number 48. Nice run by Devin Scott.
And Devin Scott, I think, gets the start, Dave, for one reason. Mike Frost has played the last 2 games and started. Devin Scott gives them more mobility. When you're talking about a Miami defense, you talk about speed. Butch Davis was at Dallas for years. I've played against Butch Davis's coach football teams. They will always have speed.
2nd down, 2. Fullback got tripped up. McKee, and boy, there's some serious hitting going on there. Let's do our first check in the AT&T studio. Mike Gleason with an update on the Ohio State game.
Well, Dave and Jeff, this doesn't look like the same Buckeye team that showed up against Minnesota last week. First, they force a fumble, then Derek Holmes back in the lineup, 14 yards, bounces to the outside. Certainly looks healthy on that play. And the Buckeyes up 7-0 on the Hawkeyes in Iowa City, 11:03 to go in the first. Dave?
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Ohio State, an early lead here in Philadelphia. 3rd and short for the Temple Owls. 25-yard line. It looks like they did get it. Harold Jackson, I believe, was the ball carrier.
It is a first down for the Temple offense, and if there's one thing that this Temple offense has done, and I'm talking mammoth strides from 1999, they take care of the football, and you know what? They possess the clock, and that's going to be huge this afternoon. It's hard for Miami to score if they're sitting on the bench.
3rd first down picked up by the Owls. McKee and Sharps in the offset eye. Comes the blitz. Scott, screen left, got it, got running room. Sharps, nice cut. And a good tackle, prevented 6 there. Nicely done by Mike Rumpf, number 8. He got a leg and held on because it looked like Sharps is going to take it home.
We talked about this game. In my opinion, a landmine game for Miami. The only thing they can do is come in here and win the football game, but they have a heck of a lot to lose. I like what they're doing offensively. Charlie Fisher, the offensive coordinator for Temple, you know what? Throw in the gadget plays early. You know, let Miami's aggressiveness, you know, in getting upfield to rush the quarterback. Sharps almost lost that football. Good job of keeping it. You got to hold it close to your side.
Good block by the center, Donnie Klein. Sharps. Boy, it's amazing they're trying to get through the penetrating defense of Miami. Nicely done inside. Cornelius Green, number 98, really caused some havoc in there.
And that was one of those plays that looked ugly from the start.
Sure
it looked
did.
like Scott kind of stumbled when he took the ball from center. Didn't look like Sharps, you know, got the handoff real clean. The one thing about it, if Temple can stay in 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 all afternoon, you have to like their chances.
No question about it. 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 15-yard line. Roll out. Got rid of it. Got it to his running back. McKee got drilled. Nice close by the strong safety, Edward Reed, on Jason McKee. And McKee, boy, I tell you what, he's got some legs on him. 5'11", 227. Transfer from Lackawanna College after a couple of seasons at NC State. Reed, an all Big East second team performer a year ago, and a penalty against Temple.
And a huge penalty it is, a holding penalty. Not only does it negate a first down, Dave, it puts you in third and very long. And this is not the type of offense that's going to pick up third and 15s all afternoon.
Keep in mind, too, that Temple's already burned one timeout. They only have 2 times out remaining. Took that first time out 21 seconds into the game. So this is a big one that takes it back.
Against the offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Retreat, third down.
That Kramer and his crew. Bobby Wallace, this team at 4-3. It's already won more games than they or tied the amount of wins they have had combined the last 2 years. Big play here, third down, 12. Ball's at the 25-yard line. Morgan on the blitz. Throw by Scott outside, a little bit too strong. Tried to get it to Charles Cobb. But Dan Morgan was in the left lane, coming in a hurry.
You talk about drive stoppers, you talk about holding penalties. Temple's been penalized 43 times coming into this game. And David, takes you out of an area where you could really go 4-down territory and try and drive this thing into the end zone. And now you've got a 42-yard field goal and you may come away empty.
Cap Pucklemba out of Baltimore's McDonough High School, Westminster, Maryland. As long as you see is a 41-yarder out of the hold of Mac DeVito. Good snap placement. Kick's got a chance. It's good. So Cap Pucklemba now 7 for 11 in field goals. That is his season long now, 42 yards. And Temple has put a score up on the board here. It's 3-0 Owls over the Hurricanes. 3. Call ATT for collect calls. Buick, isn't it time for a real car? National Car Rental, what are you waiting for? Let's go. HotJobs.com. Hot Jobs, onward, upward. CarDay.com, certified used cars. Visit our website or call 1-800-MY-CAR-DAY. And by Bass Ale, true to character since 1777. Butch Davis and the Miami Hurricanes trailing 3-0 here against the Temple Owls. They got a break. Temple got a 15-yard penalty, forced them back, and they went for the field goal and made it. Pucklemba with a season-best 42-yarder. 8 plays, 20 yards. And don't forget, too, that after the Miami hold on the punt, instead of Temple getting the ball in their own 18, they got it on the Miami 46. Big difference.
And the big one, though, Dave, is against the Temple offense. The holding penalty that negated a first down. And you hate to try and say what's going to happen during the course of the game. As a football coach, as Bobby Wallace on the sideline, you like to see 7 on the board as opposed to 3.
That's right. You want to take it, maximize every opportunity. Here's Jared Davis. All 5'6", 133 of him. High, very short kick, and it goes out of bounds. Very short kick, and a nice job by Will McPartland, a backup fullback, to let that ball go out of bounds.
And that's where communication comes in. Andre Johnson back, number 5, to return the kick.
Kickoff out of bounds. By rule, the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
And that's where communication from teammates helps, because you know what? The young up back tries to catch the football. He steps out of bounds. He's got it on the 24, 25-yard line. You pick up 10 yards.
Absolutely. So the running backs behind Ken Dorsey, DJ Williams and Najee Davenport.
Look at the time of possession. Temple doing exactly what they want, keeping control of the football.
Check that. The deep back was Jackson. And he picks up about 3-4 yards running off his left tackle. Let's go back to our AT&T studio. Mike Gleason's got an update on the West Virginia contest.
Well, Dave, Notre Dame, if they miss out on the BCS, of course, they factor into the Big East Bowl equation, which you know. But the Mountaineers strike first. Antonio Brown sweeps to the left side, 24 yards. Mountaineers go up 7-0. Notre Dame just fumbled on the 4, but they say the ground caused it, so it's still inside the 5 for the Irish. Dave?
All right, Mike, thank you. Interesting development for the Mountaineers. Here's Dorsey under pressure, and down he goes. They get a sack from Russell Newman. He's their sack leader. That gives him 5.5 on the season. Russ is out of Northeast High School here in Philadelphia.
Coaches were raving about him defensively. Raymond Monica, the defensive coordinator, was just saying, you know, we can only imagine if we're able to get Russell Newman and Dan Klecko in there together, the havoc that they can wreak. But I tell you what, number 95, Rob Sack, has done a tremendous job filling in. This is a different Temple defense than we've seen in the last couple of years.
17th sack on the season for Temple. Third down long. Dorsey to throw underneath for Williams. Nothing doing. Taylor Suman covering. And a 3 and out for Miami. Homecoming crowd here at the Vet. And a pretty good number. This team traditionally does not draw real well, but they're expecting about close to 25,000 today. Bobby Wallace has energized this program. Legendary coach at Division II North Alabama, where he won 3 straight national titles. First kick by Capstraw went 35 yards. Here's DeVito at the 19. Got some room, and he brings it back to the 27-yard line. So it'll be decent field position for Temple. Take a timeout after that 45-yard kick. Temple will have the ball with the lead when we come back at the 4-minute mark. Jeff Bostic's hors d'oeuvres this morning. Little onions, little sauce, so to be all set, all right?
And the rest of the Philly cheesesteaks that you eat in your hometown, they're cheap imitations.
You got that.
There's only one place to get a Philly cheesesteak, right here.
Owls take over, and they're going to go to the outside with Toronto Sharks. Cuts it back. Look at this. A lot of running room to the 40. Great speed there by Edward Reed to bring him down, but you see why Tornado Sharps is the leading ground gainer in the Big East. 1st and 10 Temple.
And you can see why Butch Davis and his staff are concerned about this young man. The ability to cut on a dime and leave change. Watch this cut right there. And this one right here. You know what? Reed does a phenomenal job of tackling this young man in the open field. 4 runs this year over 60 yards. He's a home run threat.
To the 39-yard line for the Owls. They lead 3-0. Sharps with the call again. Didn't find near the running room this time. Picked up about 2. Yes, Dan Morgan, number 44, was right there. 4 on 44.
And look at the Miami defense right now. No enthusiasm. You talk about flatlining. You talk about emotion playing this game. They were jumping all over one another, patting each other, you know, picking your teammate up off the field 2 weeks ago against Florida State. They're on their heels right now. That's one thing about being off a week. You know, it's your emotion. You can't turn them on and turn them off each week.
They were geeked out of their minds. Both teams were in that Florida State-Miami game. 2nd down long. Blitz picked up. Oh, yes, indeed. Chris Campbell. That is your bada bing special for the 1st quarter. Wow.
Woo-hoo. I'll tell you what, if you want to form a form tackling video, this is it right here. Watch the helmet right in the chest.
Oh, man.
That's a KO. That's right there. That's a knockout. They have got some athletes at the linebacker position. Fool nobody, but I'll tell you what, they've got one general, Dan Morgan.
3rd down long. Option call. Scott picked up about 5. Not a lot going there. And that'll bring on the punt team.
Charlie Fisher made one comment when we met with him yesterday. We need to be smart with the football. We can't turn the football over. We can't give Miami cheap possessions. I like that call in 3rd down and 12. Punt the ball and let your defense, who's played very well, let them see if they can't handle the Miami offense.
Here's Radu to punt once again. Final 1:40 here in the 2nd quarter. Harold Jackson getting them set. Radu. Santana Moss with a head of steam. Santana Moss with room to the sideline. Ready, the last one. See ya. Touchdown, Miami. One of the great game breakers in college football, Santana Moss takes advantage of a short punt. He was gone.
Yesterday afternoon, Bobby Wallace mentioned a couple things that were key. Not turning over the football, and one of the strangest ones I've heard, our punting game must be sound. Very short punt, very returnable punt. And I'm going to tell you, Santana Moss, the Big East has a bunch of big-time returners. Santana Moss is right there with Andre Davis.
29 yards on the punt, the return 71. Point after by Severs. He's 23 of 26 on the season. He's 1 for 1 today. Miami has taken the lead. 1:20 to go after a game-breaking play there by Santana Moss. A 71-yard punt return on a bad punt.
Very short, but you know what? He picks up a couple of blocks right there. Big one. This is all speed, folks. Santana Moss is a legitimate 4.4 speed guy. Nobody's going to catch him from behind. And we talk about emotion. Plays like this are what turn your defense and turn your offense. Watch this. You can't coach speed.
And Lord knows he's got it. He's been a special player for these Hurricanes. No question about it. 5'10" senior, Carroll High School of Miami. The thing that's amazing, he doesn't have a touchdown via the pass yet. But career numbers, very impressive. Big East triple jump and long jump champ as well.
I wonder who you talk to after you return. I never returned a punt for a touchdown.
That makes two of us.
You know what? I just wonder who you call and talk to. Certainly, your offensive coordinator wouldn't go, well, you know, great route, right? Huh?
You look upstairs and say thank you.
You know what? You call your mom and dad, because I think it's a lot of genetics, right?
Yes, indeed. Doesn't look that winded, to be honest with you. Severs, this kick will be short. Sharps at the 1. 10. Oh, there's a guided missile attack there. Well done. Number 26 is Aaron Moser. Back up safety and a terrific job on kick coverage. Big East football season rolls on next week from ESPN Plus. We'll be back in Boston to see the explosive Boston College Eagles as they continue their march towards a bowl berth. They'll face off against a team that badly needs a victory, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Next week, noon Eastern, Rutgers at BC. Big East Network, check your local listings. Boston College been dominating against Rutgers, and William Green on in, looking for his 4th straight 100-yard day.
One true statement, Rutgers needs a win badly.
Sharps to the edge. I tell you what, he may have second-guessed himself into some trouble there. He looked like he had some more room to the outside and cut it back into Dan Morgan.
Well, the one thing about Morgan, he can tackle you in the hole or he can run you down at the sideline. The guy runs like a 4.45 40, which is just phenomenal speed. He's 245 pounds. And I guess if you looked at the prototypical linebacker, 6'3", 245, the ability to run, instinctiveness, can drop and cover a running back. He is the total package. We mentioned it earlier. I think either Morgan or Keith Adams from Clemson will win the Butkus Award.
We don't mind putting Morgan in the same breath as Armstead and Barrow, a couple of great linebackers at Miami. And a good force play there by the strong safety Edward Reed on fullback Harold. Check that on fullback Jason McKee.
And Jason McKee got up off the turf here at the vet. He's looking at the officials. He says, these guys hit me out of bounds. You like what you see with Devin Scott, not trying to force the football. You know what? Taking the little passes that the Miami Hurricane defense give him. Not trying to force it, not trying to hurt his offense.
First quarter is in the books here in Philadelphia. Sharp, 6 rushes, 5 yards. Scott, 3 for 4, passing for 19 yards. Santana Moss, though, he is the difference. A 71-yard punt return got Miami on the board and in the lead heading into the second quarter. Philadelphia, Dave Sims and Jeff Bostic, Frank Ford with us. Big East football, Miami leading 7-3. Santana Moss can't wait to get his hands on the ball again. Temple 1 for 4 in third down situations, and they got a 3rd and long here. 3rd and 14. Sharps in motion. Scott throws and hit the hand of Charles Cobb. He was double covered. Scott was looking at him all the way. Pretty good coverage there by Mike Rump.
Good coverage, but the ball was underthrown. You know what? I like this Cobb. You know, a guy that's got bow legs can run. That's always the key. You look at the Buick first quarter stats. Temple doing exactly what they want to. Time of possession, 11 minutes to 4. The one thing that doesn't show up in there, Dave, that huge punt return by Santana Moss.
Radu's got 2 punts, 42 and 29. The 29 was returned 71 yards for a touch. Miami looks like they're coming after him. This is not a particularly good punt either. Santana Moss on the run. They're going to have great field position. And I tell you what, possibly a touchdown saving tackle by Kevin Zabon, number 52 for Temple. So the field position is outstanding for Miami.
And how often do you see a game really turn on one big play? Santana Moss's 71-yard punt return. You know what it does? It gives you this type of field position.
You bet.
You know, you go from backing a team up to somebody taking it to the house. Then the emotion part comes back.
Well, that was a 30-yard punt, and boy, there's bad move up front. James Simpson moved. He's a sophomore out of Warren, Ohio, number 74 for Temple.
And when James moves, that's a lot of body to move.
Yeah, it does.
6'1", 324 pounds. I think you would rather clothe him than feed him.
Prior to the snap, illegal contact by the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So what was already great field position gets even better. It was interesting, too, on that last play. Miami had Wayne and Moss on the same side of the field.
And what does that do to James Simpson? It gets him a seat over on the bench beside Bobby Wallace.
Sure enough. They got Wayne and Moss is in the slot, bottom of your screen. Keep it on the ground. James Jackson, second effort, picks up about 4. Let's go down to the sidelines and Frank Ford.
Gentlemen, Miami came into this game very short-handed on the defensive line. Damian Lewis is here, but they don't want to play him if they don't have to. Quincy Hips didn't even make the trip. On the last possession, William Joseph, the sophomore defensive tackle, got a little toe injury. It looks like a turf toe. They taped it up. He'll be back in, but Santonio Thomas, a true freshman, might have to play a lot. Dave?
All right, Frank, thank you very much.
I can't imagine William Joseph having a little toe. You know, when you're 6'4", 290.
Dorsey, sideline, touchdown! He gets it to DJ Williams out of the backfield. And for DJ, his first touchdown reception of the season. It covers 16 yards. And for Dorsey, his 12th TD this year. And Miami's opened up a 13-3 lead.
DJ Williams is a consensus top high school recruit last season. Dorsey does a tremendous job of staying in the pocket, and he throws the ball. He somewhat underthrows it, which is good if you're Williams. The defensive back never sees the football. And I'll tell you what, you can't say enough about Ken Dorsey and his poise.
It's remarkable. Severs tacks on the point after. So Bobby Wallace, something that he feared greatly coming into this game, a bad punt game. A 29-yard punt yields a 71-yard Miami punt return. A 30-yard punt leads to a 16-yard Dorsey to Williams TD pass. It's 14-3 Miami.
Now on pay-per-view, the director of White Men Can't Jump takes you between the ropes.
You're fighting Vince in Vegas.
In Vegas, behind the scenes.
I'm gonna hit you like that.
And beneath the sheets.
Why are you fighting?
Because they pay us.
Woody Harrelson, Antonio Banderas, in the story of two best friends and their last shot at greatness.
I just don't like you.
Knockout.
I don't like you either.
Play it to the bone. Now on pay-per-view. Rated R.
Hi. As Chris Berman, host of NFL Primetime, I have an obligation to treat all the day's games with equal importance, to break down all the day's highlights with equal vigor, and to never stage a game in an airplane hangar in New Mexico and pawn it off as authentic, you know, like the government did with the moon landing.
NFL Primetime, Sundays at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Hello, I'm Darryl Dawkins. Last year, ESPN aired Sports Century, the award-winning series that documented the lives of the century's 50 greatest athletes. And on behalf of the thousands of athletes that didn't make the top 50, I gotta ask a question. Why 50? What about us? We're interesting. Don't we have some stories too?
Sports Century documents the lives of the world's greatest athletes 5 nights a week on ESPN Classic.
To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC.
Love college hoops? Live for the sweet slam dunks, three-point plays? Get a ticket to basketball heaven. Order ESPN's pay-per-view Full Court, and you'll get over 450 extra games. The top schools, the biggest conferences, all the action you can handle. ESPN Full Court, maximum college basketball. To order, call your cable company, DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS, or Dish Network at 1-800-333-DISH.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, everybody. 14-3 Miami, the 5th-ranked Kings on top. Ken Dorsey showing a whole bunch of poise here.
And when you
TD
saw
pass
those
to
helmets,
DJ Williams.
when you see all those helmets, I wonder if, if there was a quick turnover, if you could find the right helmet. You think about it. Remember this young man, number 17, DJ Williams. He will be another Edgerrin James type before he leaves the Miami program.
Scary thing.
Look at those guns.
Just a freshman, a true freshman.
You're talking about a quick strike offense. That's a 16th touchdown drive that has taken less than 2 minutes. But remember one thing, short punt, good return.
You bet. Severs, the kick taken by Sharps at the 4. Did well to get to the 24-yard line. Take another look at the Dorsey TD pass to DJ Williams. Dorsey's 12th TD pass this season.
And look at the offensive line. McKinney, LaFleur, Romberg, Bibla, Gonzalez, allowing Dorsey all day long to throw the football. If you give Ken Dorsey this type of time in the pocket, that's exactly what's going to happen. Touchdown receptions.
Very poised young man. You're going to hear that a lot because it's true. Here we go, Temple, 1st and 10. 24-yard line. Scott on the roll. Throws and got a man. Greg Muckerson got a 9-yard pickup. Philip Buchanan, number 31, covering for Miami.
If you're Bobby Wallace in this Temple squad, you can't be discouraged about a 14-3 deficit right now. Get back to what you were doing. You know what? You may have to put a little razzle-dazzle in there, but one thing that's going to have to happen, Nardo Sharps is going to have success running the football.
4 of 6, but not a lot of yardage. 2nd and short. Full back. Boy, did he draw a crowd or what? Jackson with the carry. Junior out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And let's go back to our AT&T studio. Mike Gleason, update Purdue and Wisconsin.
Well, Simsy, the Boilermakers control their own destiny as far as going to the Rose Bowl, but first they have to win the ball games. Wisconsin strikes first. Jim Sorgi upstairs, 34 yards. Chris Chambers, touchdown. Badgers on top, 7-0, 10:47 to go before halftime. Dave?
All right, Mike, thank you. Nice pitch and catch there in the Big Ten. Measuring for the first down.
There are a lot of big games this week in college football next week. Circle your calendar for November 4th. There are going to be some huge games played all over the country.
One of them,
Miami, Virginia Tech.
You betcha.
At the Orange Bowl. The other big game that'll be huge, Clemson goes to Florida State. Before the season's over, Nebraska will play Oklahoma. What I'm getting to, this Miami Hurricane squad could put themselves in a position to try and compete and win a national championship. As can Virginia Tech.
3rd and short. Fullback. I don't think he got that. Boy, that's going to be awfully close. Chris Campbell stuck his face right in there.
And I think Harold Jackson, with the second effort, did get the first down.
Wow, the initial hit. But you're right. Second He stayed with it. Matt Walters, number 91, also in there, but Jackson bangs it in there. He's only averaging 3.9 yards per carry.
It's got to be encouraging for this Temple squad to look here at the vet and see the number of people that are starting to turn out and support their program.
Good crowd.
You know, we talk about tradition. Miami has certainly got that well entrenched. Bobby Wallace is laying the foundation right now.
I think Campbell was just a tad offside. Scott free. Throws, catch. 47-yard line. Nice gain. That Terrence Stubbs. Terrence Stubbs, a sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, his 6th catch of the season.
You talk about a linebacker timing a blitz. That's almost unfair for the offensive lineman. The one thing you like about Scott, poise, sitting in the pocket, delivering a strike. You know what? This isn't an easy catch. Good job by the receiver catching the ball with his hands. Terrence Stubbs, number 80.
Scott 5 for 7, 43 yards passing. Moves the sticks. First down for the Owls. Here's Sharps. Oh, good hit. Good close. Al Blades, the free safety. Shut that down.
And a lot of preseason publications ranked the Miami Hurricanes secondary the #1 group in the nation. And the one thing you notice about them, how big they are. Blades, 6'2", 205 pounds. Mike Rump, he will be a pro cornerback. 6'2", 200 pounds, and they all run the 4.4, 4.5 speeds, Dave.
There's your ball control, but how about Temple? With Sharp, 7 carries, 5 yards. Fake it to him, screen right. Oh, dropped in there by Jackson. He had a chance to pick up some yardage. Howard Clark covering for Miami.
And if you're Bobby Wallace, we talk about the attendance increase. Maybe he can go up into the stands and find a punter.
Yeah. Yeah, the last 2 have turned into basically 14 points.
That is the difference in this football game right now.
Temple with another 3rd down coming up. 2 of 6 on the afternoon.
And 3rd and long.
Yes, indeed. There you go with Cobb, Dillard, and Stubbs wideouts. And Miami with 9 in the box, folks. Scott will have to get rid of it quickly. He does. Oh, there's a big hit on a high pass to Terrence Stubbs. You got to like the way Miami is hitting. They have sent a very serious message to the receiving core of the Temple Owls. Don't think about it.
Philip Buchanan is not one of those big cornerbacks, 5'11", 175. But I think what he says, dynamite comes in small packages. Devin Scott getting rid of the ball, but what a collision.
We do have a different punter this time. It is Garvin Ringwelski out of Grand Blanc, Michigan. Not a particularly good punt either. This is short. Got a great roll. Tremendous roll. Stays in bounds. Look at this roll. Are you kidding me? Oh, he's downed it at the 4. He could have got another couple of yards on it.
And Ringwelski, you know what? I've never seen a punter with the ability to kick a knuckleball. Hoyt Wilhelm. Do you see that thing knuckling in the air?
50 yards on that punt. He didn't play last week because of a back injury.
And we got some laundry on the field. It's going to be offsides on Miami.
Offsides. Defense. Penalty declined. First down.
So Miami pinned back very deep in its own territory. When we come back, just shy of the 5-yard line. Nonetheless, Miami is taking advantage of some bad punts to this point by Temple and leads 14-3.
The critics have spoken.
Michaels is the best of all time on network TV at NFL Play-by-Play.
Dennis Miller brings a welcome dimension to the game.
Finally, the fan has a voice in the booth. There's little question, MNF is an event again.
Monday Night Football. It's powerful stuff.
ESPN Classic presents explosive cinematic adventures. Every Sunday night, the world of sports and movies collide with real classics. Look what you've done! Sports movies with so much heart-pounding excitement, you won't know what hit you.
You get in my way and I'll drive right over you.
Featuring the Hollywood stars you crave. Real classics. Every Sunday night, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Good look at Independence Hall at Independence Mall here in Philadelphia. Of course, that is the Liberty Bell. That is the real deal, folks. Great exhibit here in Philly.
I didn't know there was a fake one.
You'd be surprised. First and 10 at the 5-yard line. Jackson with the call. Broke a couple of tackles before it finally was brought down. And boy, you see the Martin Bibler, number 65. Boy, he kept his block going for a long time. Good offensive line for the Hurricanes. McKinney's 330, LaFair's 305, Romberg 290, Bibler 285, and Gonzalez 290.
And of that group, there's only one senior.
Yeah.
Can you say, look for a good 2001 season?
You betcha.
They're going to have to replace both of those wide receivers, though.
Second down and 7. Jackson caught from behind there. Good job by Raheem Brock.
And this is a big third down for Temple's defense for one reason: field position. They insert Dan Klecko. I told him yesterday, I said, I played against your dad a couple of times, and I actually cut him in a scrimmage one. He didn't really like that very much. And everybody well chronicled the number of knee surgeries that he had.
That's right. You need to put it in writing, though. We'll get you up here in the booth. You guys can discuss that. 3rd and 2. Oh, loose ball.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Temple. Boy, the first guy missed it. The second guy got it. There's a break for the Owls. Wow. Can you believe that somebody actually overran the ball there? Raheem Brock. Touchdown for the Owls. And that's a big turnaround.
If you're Butch Davis and the Miami Hurricanes, you have to think that Christmas came early. Trying to run the option, pick up the first down. What explosion up front for Temple's defense.
There's a break and a half there. Owls on for the extra point. Cap Paklumba to veto the hold. And Temple will take that gift. Thank you very much. So an option play just blows up in the face of the Miami Hurricanes, and Temple capitalizes with Newman scoring a touchdown.
So just what is the jersey? Is it all just a dream? Whoa! Or is it a sports fantasy come true?
It was cool being that fast.
Is it something you wear?
It's just making me a fashion victim.
Or does it really wear you?
The jersey must have followed me home.
And does it have a mind of its own? You bet it does.
Let's give this old jersey one more try.
Experience the power for yourself. The Jersey, a new Disney Channel original series. Fridays and Saturdays at 6:30, 5:30 Central, only on Disney Channel.
UEFA Champions League action this month on ESPN Extra.
Introducing ESPN Extra, the brand new cable channel for sports fans who can't get enough. On ESPN Extra, you get more of the sports you love, like international soccer from around the world, including the UEFA Champions League. You'll see international auto racing, fitness, and outdoor programming. Plus, there's EXPN, which offers exciting extreme sports programming. It's all on pay-per-view around the clock, all week long, and only on cable. Watch ESPN Now or your program guide to see what's on. Then order exactly like you would for a pay-per-view movie. ESPN Extra, you can't do better than that.
Raheem Brock, the senior co-captain from Dobbins High School here in Philadelphia, falls on a loose ball in the end zone, and the Owls are right back in it. And this is seconds after we were lauding the offensive line of the Miami Hurricanes.
And you see the points off of turnovers last week, 31 against Rutgers. Anytime you start talking good about any one group of the football team, what happens? It is the kiss of death. Miami with a mental mistake up front. Russell Newman breaks free, causes a fumble, and what do they say? Christmas in October.
That's it. It's like you said, well, no, he's 6 for his last 8 on Thursdays, and next thing you know, boom, he can't get ahead. High short kick, 12-yard line. And the coverage not real good right now. Andre Johnson on the return. Nicely done by Andre. Take another look at that scoring play. They get Temple's first touchdown of the day.
Watch the right defensive tackle right there, number 92. If you don't block Russell Newman, this type of play will happen.
Akeem Staples has got to get a touchdown. He's got to get on the board.
Akeem Staples is a defensive end and linebacker because of these type of hands. Look at the penetration by Newman. And if you're Dorsey, you simply have no chance.
All right, there to fall on it. He tried to
I bet he's never scored a touchdown in his college career and probably won't have another chance.
That's exactly right.
You know, he's going to worry about this play the rest of his life.
Here comes Miami. From its own 33. Santana Moss in motion. And they're looking for him. Home run ball. He's there. There's some separation. He makes the catch. It spins out. Santana Moss to the 5. Touchdown, Miami. What a play. "67 yards to the game breaker, his second touchdown this afternoon." Wow. There is a penalty flag, and I think it's going to be a face mask against Temple.
Against the defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
If you're the Miami Hurricanes, how do you come back? How do you bounce back from adversity? You give Temple a gift touchdown. And can you believe it? Santana Moss's first receiving touchdown this season.
That is unbelievable.
You see the replay, and this is nothing but pure speed.
Great.
Ball is somewhat underthrown. Terrence Leftwich, the left cornerback. And you know what? Moss said, I'm going to get in the end zone.
Jamal Wallace could not bring him down. Point after Severs. Mark it up. So Miami says, hey, man, enough of this drive stuff. Let's just get that score back real quick.
Can you say 17 touchdown drives that took less than 2 minutes? This is a quick strike offense. Temple, Bobby Wallace, their entire coaching staff knew that coming in. You have to like the call by Butch Davis.
Oh, absolutely. He and Larry Coker, no question about it.
You know what? You turn the football over, you hurt yourself. And you know what? Dorsey throws the ball. It's not an ugly ball. It's not a Billy Kilmer ball, but it's not one of the prettier balls. But you know what? Moss is going to find the end zone. You see the face mask right there. Big play abilities. Has there ever been anybody in the Big East that has been the special teams player of the week and the offensive player of the week?
That's right.
That's the question.
Major league talent, folks. Ken Dorsey. You know what? It's saying about act like you've done it before. Well, he's certainly building on that bank. I mean, it's not like he's done a ton.
And it's like Butch Davis said, this kid keeps his emotions well under wrap. He said, I don't want to call him a flatliner. He said, but he's got the ability to forget the last play. I bet he can't forget that one. How many miles does Butch Davis walk during the course of a game?
How he stays in shape. Turns 49 on November 17th. Still looking ever young. Here's Sharps looking for room. Switches it into gear. He's got open field. Oh, boy, there's a big tackle there. Saves some damage. 31-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines and Frank Ford.
Well, we're here with Joe Klecko, former great defensive tackle of the New York Jets, and his son Dan plays for Temple. And I know he's been struggling with injuries. He's kind of gutting it out today out there, isn't he?
Well, he came back. I told him he wasn't going to be able to play over my dead body if he was going to be hurt, and he feels pretty good. So he's not hurting right now.
Was he? I know he wanted to stay close to home and everything. Are you glad you're getting a chance to see him play without traveling very far? You live in New Jersey.
From a selfish reason, without a doubt. You know, my wife and I live our lives through the kids now, so it's really great to see him play at home.
Well, Joe, any Jeff Bostic stories? I know you played against him. Jeff's up in the booth today. Any good Bostic stories?
I was wondering if they took them hooks off his fingers that he used to have.
He wasn't a holder, was he?
Yo, a lot.
All right, guys, back to you.
Frank and Joe, thank you. Get the hooks out, huh?
Well, I may have occasionally, I'm going to admit this, occasionally I may have had my hand entwined in a couple of jerseys. You know what? Klecko looks like he could still play.
Captain Hook, and we're not talking Sparky Anderson, folks.
Yeah, I wasn't going to the bullpen. Sometimes the truth hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know.
But it's only holding if they call it.
That's right. Second down, about 6. Scott, late pitch, Sharps. Lost yardage there. Good play by Miami. Tremendous speed. What else is new? Cornelius Green, Dan Morgan.
And this is not the type of defense that you want to start running toward the boundary. Make a decision and head upfield. This is exactly what Miami tries to do, and this is exactly what Butch Davis defenses tried to do when they were in the NFL at Dallas. Try and push the ball to the sideline and let the speed catch you. Make your decision, get upfield.
Cornelius Green, Edward Reed on that tackle. Sets up another 3rd down and long for Temple. Coming up on 8 minutes to go. Out of the gun. They blitz. Dropped. It was right there to the fullback. Jason McKee had a step on Edward Reed. If he holds on, real good shot at a 1st down.
And Miami came with the all-out blitz. If McKee catches this football, he may still be running. The middle of the field was wide open. I like what I see in Devin Scott. He's sitting in the pocket and delivering the ball.
Here's Garvin Ringwelski again. First punt, 49 yards. Rolled inside the 5. They come after him again. Good protection, and he gets a better kick. But Moss at the 30. Moss to the edge already. Moss to the 45 and taken out at the 49-yard line. Boy, he's scary. Good-looking return by Santana Moss. We'll take a break. And Miami's field position is outstanding. They're right at midfield in a 21-10 game here in the 2nd quarter. Santana Moss, has he had an impact on this game for 5th-ranked Miami or what? Take a look at this.
And it started early, Dave. Poor punt by Temple. 71 yards later, see a Santana Moss gone. We talked about it earlier. Has there been a Big East player ever been the special team and offensive player of the week? Santana Moss is going to throw his hat in the ring. A 67-yard touchdown reception, and unthinkably his 1st of the season.
That really is amazing, given what he has done in his career, the 5'10 senior. Some serious damage done today, and we have plenty of clock left. 7:47.
He's on pace for about a 400-yard total yards of offense and punt returns.
Dorsey, Wayne this time. Nice catch and delivers a blow on the DB, Terrence Leftwich, who was exploited last time by Santana Moss.
And I like to see that from a wide receiver. A lot of guys will catch the ball on the boundary. You know what they do? They're going to try and find that sideline. Yeah. The best at doing that, Walter Payton. Watch right there. You know, Reggie Wayne drops that shoulder and delivers the blow. And getting back to 1 point, no one hit people harder on the sidelines than Walter Payton.
31 straight games. Nicely done. Boy, I tell you what, that's still a bone of contention between Jim Brown and Franco Harris. Jim Brown always said that about Franco Harris. He would take that play and get out of bounds. Here's Najee Davenport, close to 1st down yardage as they swing it wide to the left. Jamal Wallace, number 9, the free safety, got a piece, as well as Taylor Suman.
What a tremendous block by the left tackle, Bryant McKinney. 6'9", 330 pounds. He's only a junior. Transferred after 2 years at Lackawanna Junior College. Preseason, you know what, Big East selection. They've got a midseason All-American team. He made the midseason All-American team along with number 44, Dan Morgan. Folks, if you had to draw a blueprint of what you wanted the NFL left tackle to look like, right there it is. 6'9", 330 pounds.
That's unreal. Did
not start playing football till his senior year in high school. Was in the band as a drummer. I bet he'd beat the dickens out of that drum.
Played a big drum they have at Purdue. Now Jay Davenport into the secondary. Terrence Leftwich with the tackle. Another first down for Miami.
He could carry the entire band on his shoulders. I walked beside him yesterday afternoon in the hotel. Now, I've been around some big people.
Joe Jacoby
is big. Joe may be a little bit broader than this guy, but I'm going to tell you, remember that name, Bryant McKinney.
He's only a junior, he's still growing.
You know what? I wouldn't want to feed him either. You know, buying clothes, I wouldn't want to buy him shoes. His feet are huge.
Davenport bulls his way to a 5-yard pickup. Boy, that's a good-looking run there. He ran over Jason Davis, number 55.
And he's telling him about it on the way back to the huddle.
Right. And oh, by the way, my name is.
This is what you like to see in your fullback or your tailback. The ability to gain yards between a tackle right there. Oh. This is what we talked about with Temple. Make a decision, go north and south, and that's exactly what Davenport does.
Second down play, 6 movement. They claim it was the left guard for Miami, Greg LaFleur. Miami walking backwards. Pretty good chance it was.
Quiet to the start. 12th start. Offense. 5 yards.
Boy, referee, let me throw a name at you. Jack Kramer looks like he's wearing glasses, but Jack reminds me of, oh, what was it? I just had his name in it. The great ref that you worked with when you were in the NFL. Jerry, Jerry Markbright. That's what he looks like. Jerry Markbright. That's what he looks like. Second down, 12. Dorsey, throw, catch, Moss. Moss out of bounds, 31-yard line, about a 5-yard pickup.
And Dorsey took a shot when he let go of that football, number 89, Raheem Brock. You know, I'm really wondering if Dorsey is hurt. Watch this. You know what? Come on out here and play college football. You know what? Be a cameraman on the sideline. Whoa, watch out.
A lot of blue there, huh?
We have got the most mobile camera people in the business. We haven't lost one of them yet.
That's right.
Nobody's been put on injured reserve.
Miami on third down is 1 out of 4. Offset I. Williams the up back. Blitz. Oh, not a good play. LeVar Talley got in there, claiming a lot of flinching done on that O-line for Miami.
I think they're claiming that Ivan Mercer moved. One thing you can remember, tight ends can move prior to the snap. I would not want to be one of those gentlemen in a striped uniform. This is going to be a tough call. And it doesn't go for the home folks.
Take a look at the O-line here, see if there's some flinching.
If it was very minimal, and that's in slow motion. It goes from a 3rd down and 6 to a 3rd down and 1.
Can run it or take a shot. You got Reggie Wayne, top of your screen. One-on-one coverage. Keep that in mind. They look at Wayne. They throw it. Wayne, he's there. Got it. 1st and goal, Miami. Boy, they were all over that play. 24 yards on the pickup. That was stealing.
And the one thing that happens, Dorsey pumps the ball on about his 3rd step. If you're Phillip Shepard, the left cornerback, number 21, you have to close that cushion. Right there on the pump is where the touchdown came. And number 9, Jamal Wallace, just a little bit late getting there. Doesn't quite get into the end zone, but really puts his offense in great field position.
Reggie Wayne couldn't wait for them to snap that ball. He knew he had a lot of field. Wayne, 3 catches, 47 yards. Keep it on the ground. Davenport, touchdown, Miami. Najee Davenport. His 2nd rushing touchdown this season, and Miami extends its lead to 27-10.
And this is where you get down to the bread and butter. This is where the rubber hits the road. Your offensive line able to remove the defensive line from Temple, and Davenport does the rest. After starting off a little bit of flat as far as emotions, I can see that this Miami team is coming back emotionally.
Yes, indeed. And that, too, was after that drive was after a short punt and a good return by Moss. A 37-yard punt, 19-yard punt return by Moss, and then the big play in the drive. 24-yard catch by Wayne sets up the short TD run by Najee Davenport, and it's a 28-10 Miami lead.
And Charlie Fisher, the offensive coordinator from Temple, said something yesterday. We cannot give them great field position. We cannot give them cheap scores. And certainly that's happened with the punting game. And the punting game has really been the Achilles heel for Temple this afternoon.
Stay with us at halftime. Our National Car Rental halftime report. We'll have stats and highlights, of course, and a good look at the Notre Dame West Virginia game and the BC Pittsburgh contest.
Notre Dame, West Virginia, both going into this game 4-2. Somebody's going to feel good about themselves about 4 o'clock this afternoon. The other one, well, they're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Davenport with the 1-yard run. 7 plays, 50 yards. Short field again, just as you said, Jeff. 2:37 on the clock.
And look at Bryant McKinney. You know, he's amongst a bunch of big football players. Look how he towers over everyone.
Here's Severs. Kicks this one. And you hear somebody saying let it go. So Temple's going to gladly take that ball at the 35-yard line.
And this is if you're a head coach, when the kicker comes to the sideline, you'd want to strangle him. You know, the field is 54 yards wide. Just kick it somewhere between the white lines. Look who's meeting him going off the field, Butch Davis.
Tell you what, Butch looked pretty calm, but
it's easy to be calm when you're up 28-10.
Yeah.
You know what? If this were the Florida State game and he were down 3, a different reaction.
No question. Well, Miami's team, Butch can be very happy with his defense. Held the leading rusher in the Big East Conference, Bernardo Sharp, 8 carries, 1 yard. That is a difference maker right there. Devin Scott, 5 for 10 passing, 42 yards. Here's Scott to throw. Sideline ball. And a good tackle after the catch is made by Charles Cobb. Dan Morgan, Trillion All-American. Outstanding performer. Impacting, and that was one of the first plays of the game.
And he's all over the field. He's making plays down the line of scrimmage. He's making them in Temple's backfield. You like a guy like this. And he is the epitome of Miami football. And they've got a legacy of great linebackers, Armsteads, the Michael Barrows, the Ray Lewises. This guy is certainly in that category.
We had some movement on the Temple offensive line. So backs up Temple. And they'll have a 1st and 15. It takes it all the way back to the 41-yard line of the Owls. Temple's lone touchdown today, a gift. Raheem Brock falls on a loose ball in the end zone after a bad pitch. Dorsey to Jackson. The offensive unit like to get a touchdown right here. There's the blitz, and down goes Scott. Great job by Chris Campbell. That's his 3rd sack. Let's get to Mike Gleason in our AT&T studio. Update on Notre Dame and West Virginia.
Well, Dave, Jeff just mentioned West Virginia and Notre Dame both at 4-2. West Virginia 14-7 until this. Terrence Howard finds an opening. Now watch Howard. He's trying like heck to find 5th gear, but he just can't find it. But he does find the end zone. 81 yards for an Irish touchdown. That's the equalizer. 14-14, 6:45 to go in the second. And from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Panthers up on BC. It's 14-10 in the second. Simsy?
All right, Mike, 2nd sack of the day for Miami is Sharp's one of his better runs, but he had 2nd in forever. Picks up about 9 or 10 on the draws. We approach 3.5 to go first half.
And if you're Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator from Miami, having a 28-10 lead allows you some flexibility in what you want to do up front. Campbell, number 48, with the sack a few moments ago. Tremendous call. But you're able to roll the dice and take some chances when you have an 18-point lead.
Well, looking at this score sheet, boy, the punting game has absolutely killed Temple, and Miami's been all over it. Oh, and there's another mistake as the right tackle, Matthias Nkwenti, Richard Sr. from Rockville, Maryland, moved way too soon.
And the one encouraging thing for this Temple program, there are only 3 seniors on their 2 depth chart, offensively and defensively. They bring a lot of guys back, and that's encouraging for Bobby Wallace. He's going to have to find someone to fill the shoes of LeVar Talley at linebacker. But this guy is on the way to putting the foundation here at Temple, and he's getting the support from the Temple University administration. They're spending money on facilities.
Here's Scott, open field. Look at the Jets. Can he get out of bounds or get the first down? He's awfully close. He's awfully close. He had to get, looks like they marked him about a yard short. He had to get to the 44. He took it to the 45-yard line.
And you think
real good speed by Devin Scott.
Devin Scott is outrunning number 8, Mike Rupp. He's outrunning number 44, Dan. You know what? You don't coach this. I would like to see one other guy running that ball. And I know that the Big East is just thrilled that if you're an opposing team of Virginia Tech, that Michael Vick has announced that he will, in fact, be back next year.
We both applaud that.
And I think he should stay for his senior year also.
When he gets a full package together, I mean, he's scary now. How good is he going to get after he learns a little bit more?
The one thing you cannot explain to a quarterback that's in college that has had this type of success.
Right.
You can't explain the complexity of defensive coverages, of defensive backfield looks, of zone, man, blitz, you know, 2/3, 1/3 coverages deep, confusing for young quarterbacks. And if you don't believe it, call down to Tennessee and ask Keith Schuler.
Yes, indeed. And everybody can run.
How about Trent Dilfer?
Sure. 28-10, 2:37 to go. Dave Sims, Jeff Bostic, and Frank Fort with you from Philadelphia. It's homecoming for the Temple Owls. And next week, our Big East Caravan will take us back to Boston. Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Boston College Eagles. Boston in a battle right now with Pittsburgh, but we'll have BC and Rutgers. Take a look at Tim Hasselbeck next week, noon Eastern time. Check your local listings. Coming up, the National Car Rental Halftime Report. Mike Leeson will have all the scores for you. Scott's done a pretty good job rushing the ball today, 6 times for 23 yards. He's 6 of 11 passing, 53 yards. Temple's going to go for it. 4th and short, 2:37 to go. Up the middle, fullback. Looks like they got it. McKee on the carry. So they'll keep this drive going.
Not even going to measure for it.
Nice response from the homecoming crowd here at Vet Stadium. Big East football, and Temple Owls trying to get an offensive touchdown here. Make this a little closer score as we approach halftime. Under 2.5 to go.
This is where I would load it up and take a shot deep. You know, we talked to Charlie Fisher yesterday, the offensive coordinator. He said we have to pick and choose when we take our shots. I like it now.
They're looking that way. Scott throws it up. Muckerson downfield. No, sir. Pretty good coverage by Philip Buchanan. Good look at Muckerson. Last 3 games, he's caught five balls, so a little bit off track right now.
And once again, you've got man-to-man coverage. Muckerson and Buchanan one-on-one. This is a tough angle to throw the football from. I like the call. Now, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I come back with a screenplay. They think it's going to be a pass. Let their defensive line rush forward, set up the screen, and throw it.
They've got a great gadget play that we saw, got a good look at yesterday. See if they run it here. Straight drop over the middle. Need to get upfield, and then, let's see, he turns the corner, and he does. Like a little indecision, Sean Dillard felt like he was at the buffet line. So many things to choose from. Which way do I go?
Yeah, it's either the buffet line or fear. One or the other one.
19 yards on the pickup.
NFL Hall of Famer Bobby Mitchell said he played his entire career scared. Well, he played pretty well. And I think that's what you see with Sean Dillard. You know, where can I go to the path of least resistance? Well, Mike Rump says you can run, but you can't hide.
Did a little shaking there. Which way do I go? Which way do I go?
Yeah, but anybody that's in the NFL Hall of Fame telling me he played his whole career scared.
Works for me.
You know what? People were scared of him also.
I used to see him. Blitz. It's picked up. Throw it. Oh, and he ate a big pop, too. He took a real strong lick from Jamal Green, a 6'3", 250-pound sophomore from Camden, New Jersey. Just a couple of minutes away and with the Woodrow Wilson High School.
This is when you would like to see your junior quarterback take the ball, throw it up into the stands. You know what? Don't stand in there and don't take these type of hits.
Third sack for the Canes. Clock running. But 25 to go, first half. Pro set for the Owls. They send Sharps in motion. Blitz. No time for pump faking, says Chris Campbell. Fourth sack for Miami, second on this series.
That is the second time this afternoon we've seen Campbell time his blitz.
Beautiful.
If I am Temple, I'm going to go to a longer cadence and try and hard count him. Easy offsides.
He's had at least a half step advantage twice this afternoon on the blitz.
And you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of Ditzel, the tight end, to try and get out of your stance and block a guy like Campbell that's coming at full speed.
That's right. Third and a long way to go. Third and 35. Final 36 seconds. Blitz again. Penalty flag on the play as they get it to McKee. Who gets it close to the original line of scrimmage inside the 25-yard line.
I think we've got Miami offsides, lining up in the neutral zone. Wow. Illegal procedure on the Temple offense.
So back them up.
You know what would be a good challenge? Can Temple punt for a first down?
That has really turned this game around. So third down. Have to get some folks deep. Devin Scott. You want to play D1 major college quarterback? Bingo.
And I think I'm going to reconfirm the fact that there's nothing wrong with William Joseph's toe. Okay?
7 penalties, 40 yards for the Temple Owls. William Joseph, a sophomore, 6'5", 290.
How many defensive tackles can this program turn out?
It's incredible.
I mean, it started with Jerome Brown.
I was watching an old Steve Sable NFL films bit on him. Boy, has he missed here in Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what, I think I held him a couple times.
Surprised you didn't tackle him.
I probably did.
Third down and 24 to go. Short pass through. Boy, that ball was up for grabs.
Philip Buchanan never saw the football.
Off the hands of the fullback, McKee. Boy, they keep going back to him. He's dropped several today.
And the one thing the Temple offense did in moving the ball down to this position, they ate up clock and they prevented Miami from touching it again. 10 seconds to go. I'm really surprised they're not opting to punt the ball and just punt it out of bounds.
4th and 24. They're going to take a shot here. 10 seconds to go. They've got Terrence Stubbs in the game, Charles Cobb. I think we're looking at a Big Ben tackle play. What's that going to be, delay or timeout?
And I think they catch Miami off guard.
Yeah, Miami calls timeout.
We talked about Dan Morgan for much of this first half. I thought it was interesting when much of the time your own coaches are going to brag about you, and certainly Dan Morgan doesn't need anybody chronicling what he's done since he's been at Miami. But when we sat down with Charlie Fisher, the offensive coordinator, and Raymond Monica, the defensive coordinator, and Bobby Wallace from Temple yesterday, They mentioned one game, the McNeese State game that opened up the season for him. It's a hot day in Miami. Webster's lined up in the middle. They've got the game tape on. Well, as sometimes happens, your stomach's a little churny. It's hot. Morgan lines up throwing up for a little bit. They said he doesn't flinch. He
went
doesn't
right on
move.
with the play. How about that?
As soon as the ball snapped, he's off and running.
How scary is that? Would you say you had a guy you played in a game where a guy did some?
Yeah, we had a guy that we played against at NC State, Ronnie Banther. Toughest pound-for-pound player I think that has ever played college football. Outside linebacker at about 185 pounds. And
same type of deal?
He had a little upset stomach, and he let it go on the field, and then he added a little extra to it. I don't know that the TV audience is ready for what he did with it.
He tried to show his accuracy with his throwing arm, eh?
Yeah, right at our tight end, right in the face. Unbelievable.
That's one.
Now, you talk about concentration.
Hey.
How does the tight end come off the ball after that?
Not real cleanly, that's for sure. Last play, first half. Throw it up high. That's what he's going to do. Does anybody catch or knock it down? It's broken up. Muckerson made a good run at it. Edward Reed, the strong safety, knocked it down for Miami. Also, he comes up a little injured.
You know what? You've got to try this, and I like the call. How close is the Temple offense to receiving? You know, good job.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Frank Fort with Butch Davis.
Coach, one of your assistants said, hey, they're going to come out and hit us in the mouth today, and how do we respond? It seemed like Santana's punt return really got the team charged up and emotionally back in the game.
Well, that's what you expect your playmakers to do. Obviously, Santana, you know, he's an integral part. Anytime you can turn field position and put points on the board with your kicking game. We're not playing particularly well in the kicking game ourselves. We're not covering kicks as well as we need, and we've made too many dumb penalties that have let drives stay alive.
And he gave him a touchdown, and I know that's got to bother you, but I think your defense pretty much has been playing well.
Not bad, not bad. We got to play better the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Dave, back to you.
All right, thank you, Frank. Well, Bobby Wallace, the Temple coach, expressed deep concern about his punt game. Well, it certainly did hurt him today. Santana Moss with a 71-yard punt return. They capitalized two other times. Miami goes to halftime, 28-10. Mike Gleason, AT&T Studio, coming up next. First half stats, you got to look at Raheem Brock. He fell on the loose ball for the only touchdown. 20 minutes of time possession, but it's all about converting them into scores.
Exactly, and the one stat that really stands out is the 21 minutes of time possession. No turnovers for Temple. Third down has been a big Achilles heel. Two times out of 10 that they've converted them, and they're going to have to get better at this in the second half. You know, if you're Bobby Wallace and your squad, you're down 18 points at the half, you tell your team, you know what, this is the second half, this is a new game. We're going to try and win the second half, and if we can come back, that's great.
Raheem Brock, maybe he can get lucky again. He or somebody can get into the end zone for the Temple Owls. They trail 28-10 to the 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. Second half coming up right after this. Moss has had a big impact on this first half. Let's get down to the sidelines and Frank Fort with Bobby Wallace.
Here with Coach Bobby Wallace at halftime. Coach, it seemed like you had a good offensive game plan, at least in the first quarter. Where do you feel things broke down?
Well, I think in the kicking game, I don't think there's any question. Moss's punt return for a touchdown took a lot of air out of us. It looked like we were going to go in the second quarter up 3-0, and then all of a sudden they got some quick plays, got good field position on the next punt. We got to find somebody to punt the football for us, and then we got to keep playing hard, and then we gave up the long pass.
You mentioned it. Your team is playing hard. They're giving great effort today.
Well, we'll find out how much character we got this half, and it'll be very important for the rest of our season.
Thanks, Coach, very much. Bobby Wallace, the Temple head coach. His team trails by 18 at halftime. Dave?
Frank, thank you very much. Bobby Wallace, coach under Pat Dye at Auburn. Pat Dye, of course, was on Bear Bryant's staff at one point. So Bobby's been on a lot of good staffs over the years.
I bet he's been on a couple of punters at halftime.
There's one right there. Punting a little bit better when Garvin Ringwelski came in. George Radu had a nightmare first couple. 29-yard punt and a 30. Ringwelski, a 37-yard punt, set up that last touchdown by Miami.
And people think it's just the offensive and defensive aspects of a game.
Field position.
The kickers will figure into this thing more than I would like.
Here's a kickoff by Jared Davis, way short, 15-yard line. A jet straight up the middle. Good looking run by Darrell Jones. A terrific field position on the 37 for Miami.
What a block by Andre Johnson on number 19, Gerald Bishop.
21-yard return.
And he said it with body language.
Mm-hmm. Here come the Canes. Dorsey has Wayne to his left, Moss to his right. Looking at Moss. Quick hitch. Santana eats up about 7-8 yards. Knocked out of bounds by Leftwich and Thompson of Temple.
You know, a couple of guys we haven't mentioned much this afternoon, LeVar Talley and Taylor Suman. You know, coming into this game, they were both averaging around 12 tackles per game. I don't know that we've called their name much this entire first half.
Talley had an offside late. Suman, a junior out of Wyckoff, New Jersey, which is in North Jersey. Moss goes in motion. Second down 4. Jackson, good stick. They got hit by Akeith Staples, redshirt junior out of nearby Media, Pennsylvania. Gain of about a yard and a half.
And that's one thing Bobby Wallace said about his football team. We're going to find out what type of character we have the second half. You know, let's forget about the 28-10 first half deficit. We're worrying about the third and fourth quarter. We're going to win this second half, and we're going to become a better football team regardless of what the final outcome is.
Good attitude. Third down 4. And again, there's contact. That will not help the cause. Russell Newman, he's the guy that caused the fumble that led to the only Temple touchdown.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Gives Miami a first down, and Russell Newman the hook. Dan Klenko comes in.
And this first drive is going to be important for Temple for one reason. And you see the penalties. Obviously, Miami's played a very disciplined football game. They had 43 penalties coming into this game, as did Temple. Temple has continued on that path.
Dorsey, delay handoff, Jackson to the edge. Had one man to beat, and he smoked him. Finally, ran out of bounds by LeVar Talley. First down, Miami. James Jackson. Is he impressive or what?
And for Miami, it's almost like another day at the office. You know, hand the ball off to Jackson and get out of the way. But you have to talk about their offensive line. Good block by Ivan Mercer, their tight end. But this kid I really like. Right there running out. I'd like to see him drop that shoulder a little bit. If for nothing else, protect yourself.
That's exactly right. I think that's job one. Quick look outside. Moss. A rare miscue. Ball slightly behind him. He did position himself that it went through his hands. Coverage on the play by the middle linebacker, John Lacey.
You know, wide receivers like Moss think they should catch every ball that's thrown to them. I guarantee in the huddle, Moss is going to be upset with himself. And it wasn't a perfect throw.
I like this adjustment. He did a heck of a job to turn around it.
He's also looking into a very bright sun.
Yes, indeed. Now, how about this if you're Temple's defense? You got Moss and Wayne top of your screen for this second down and 10. Dorsey over the middle. Davenport. And he was covered by Suman. Suman broke that play off. He knocked Davenport off course.
And Dorsey is upset that interference wasn't called. There was some contact between Suman and Davenport. That's you know, look at Suman, the matching elbow sleeves. And I can tell you something from past experiences. This is the type of field you want as much protection on your arms. You see those little neoprene sleeves are what they call it. You know those little rug burns that kids do when they're sliding around as kids? Magnify that about 100 times on this carpet.
This isn't one of your favorite carpets.
This is nobody's favorite carpet. For anybody that says the vet is my favorite field, we need to check him into an insane asylum.
There's a throw behind the intended receiver, Darrell Jones, a junior from Dallas. Low and away was that throw by Dorsey. Now 7 of 13 for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And it looks like Miami is opting to go for this on 4th down and 10.
They're going to go for it.
They got a lot to choose from. Here's another guy we haven't heard much from, Jeremy Shockey. No, he caught the winning touchdown pass against Florida State. That's what Miami has done on 4th down. Dorsey's going to drop into the gun. Boy, oh boy. They know it's almost like a sucker's born every minute. And they made it happen. They got Staples this time.
Quiet snap. Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
It was Russell Newman again, so second time in this possession.
And Temple's defense was playing it safe, only rushing 3 people.
That makes it a shorter 4th down.
That is the effect of a hard count, and that's exactly what happened there. Dorsey uses a little enunciation.
You got Wayne and Moss to his left. King to the right on this 4th down, and 5 from the 29. Temple, 9 penalties, 50 yards. There's a shot. Wayne turned in, got it. First down, Miami to the 21-yard line.
Now that was an 8-yard completion. How big is that 5-yard penalty for offside?
You bet. That's a killer.
And the one thing with these 2 wide receivers, with Wayne and Moss, you better give them some space on the corner. How much of a luxury would it have been to have 4th down and 10? You know what? Your corner comes up and does a good job making contact, almost shaking the ball free, but it's a first down for Miami.
This time offset I with Davenport and Jackson. Jackson the call. Good block. Great block. Davenport down the sideline. Nice pickup. 8 yards by Jackson. Late hit on Suman, so he'll tack on a half the distance to the goal penalty. So it's starting to break down here for the Owls.
And you talk about that block. Davenport with a tremendous block on Lofton Thompson, the strong safety, number 8, that allows Jackson to get the additional yards, and we're going to add more with another penalty, the 10th one this afternoon on Temple.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
I believe it was Suman who hit Jackson when he was out of bounds. So it's 1st and goal for Miami. Ball's at the 7-yard line.
Watch number 4. Tremendous block by your fullback. And obviously he's about 4 yards out of bounds. This is where people blow out knees right there, relaxing and getting hit late.
Dorsey switching things up here. Play clock at 5. They get it off. Fade pattern right side. Wayne picked off. It's picked off. Leftwich got it. He got burned earlier in the game, and he comes back. He gets a measure of revenge.
And Leftwich was turned completely around. You talk about athleticism. He came to Temple as a wide receiver, went to Anacostia High School in Washington, D.C. What can this young man do, folks? In high school, he was a 6'10" high jumper.
Shows it.
And that's exactly what happens there. And that is the first interception of Ken Dorsey since last year against Temple.
Second pick this season by Leftwich, and boy, did that come at a good spot. Defense on its heels, mistakes. Miami looking to extend the lead to 35-10.
And this is what Bobby Wallace talked about, character. Somebody stood up and made a play.
Make it interesting if they can come back and drive for a touchdown. Let's see. Sharps with running room. Sideline, gain of 7. Well done. Philip Buchanan brings him down.
If there were 2 things in the second half that Bobby Wallace and the Temple staff would like to see happen, let's eliminate the stupid penalties, and let's do a better job of kicking the football in punting situations.
28-10 score is truly deceiving. There's no question about it.
And if there's one person that has truly impacted this game, it's number 6, Santana Moss.
Second down and short here for Temple. Blitz on the corner. They pitch it to him, ran into the blitz. Sharps did well to get back to the 25-yard line. Great defensive call. And a blitz. They ran the play right into the blitz, and Sharps, as you see, is limping.
And Chris Campbell was so quick, he ran right out of his shoe.
quickness of these linebackers is unreal. Look at that. Last 2 picks been against Temple, separated by 178 attempts.
You know what? Butch Davis and the offensive staff will take 178 more passes between the next interception also.
See you sometime in 2001. Blitz again. Scott didn't get rid of it. Coverage sack. They had one-on-one coverage on the 4 receivers. Nobody was open.
You know, that's going to force a punt. But we talked about it earlier. Man-to-man coverage. No separation by the Temple receivers. Devin Scott takes this ball, puts it under his bread basket, and guess what? Just eats the football. Smart play by the junior quarterback.
Ringwelski to punt. 5th sack on the afternoon by the Hurricanes. William Joseph got that one. 3rd down and 9, 21-yard line. Good snap, Ringwelski. They're going for the return. This is not a deep kick, but he did a smart thing. He kicked it out of bounds. Let's see what they give him credit to the 44-yard line. So at least Santana Moss didn't get it and have a chance to return it. 45 yards on the punt. It's at the 45-yard line, rather, on the 35-yard punt. Timeout. Back with more. Miami 28-10.
This Sunday, ESPN Classic presents another real classic, Bang the Drum Slowly. It wasn't until he faced death that he had the greatest season of his life.
How can he be so sick and play so well?
Academy Award winner Robert De Niro and Golden Globe winner Michael Moriarty star in a film about friendship and the triumph of the human spirit. It's real classics. It's Bang the Drum Slowly. This Sunday night at 9, only on ESPN Classic.
Where the heck is everybody? I'm glad you asked. The success of 3Play from ESPN.com has been tremendous. And now on one of these Nokia mobile phones, you can play just about anywhere. For example, at the country club, dining al fresco, going out to the Hamptons. 3Play from ESPN.com. It's free. It's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money. Presented by Nokia mobile phones.
Raymond Monica, assistant head coach and defensive coordinator, letting his unit have it here. Trying to get him fired up some more. They need to get another stop here on the Miami Ball Club. Ringwelski, he and Redu have not had a good day. 3 of the 6 have been returned.
For an average of 36 yards per return. But that average gets somewhat bent out of shape with a 71-yard touchdown.
Yes, it does. Davenport taken down from behind by Klecko and then rolls over, that knee and ankle bothering him. And Butch Davis real impressed with Klecko. He says he's a rolling ball of butcher knives. Real enthusiastic, gregarious.
Boy, he looks like his dad, doesn't he?
Moves like him. Got his dad's number.
What do they say? The apple won't fall far from the tree, will it?
You look at, you're Joe's kid, huh?
Yeah. And you know he's heard that all his life.
Oh, God, yes.
You know, you play like your dad. You look like your dad.
That's it. The play action. Dorsey. Deep ball. Good throw. First down, Miami. Reggie Wayne with the catch to the 37.
Well, you talk about a 4 route where your quarterback gets back in the pocket and is patient with your wide receiver. Reggie Wayne, typically a 4 route like this takes a long time to develop. Offensive line gives him tremendous protection. And when you can run the ball, look at his cup. And you see Davenport peeling back there to try and get the end. Throw and catch, folks. It's easy football.
Boy, he had a chance to step into that throw and get something on it. 18-yard pickup. Delay, Davenport. Room, too. Najee Davenport running hard. Boy, they can punish you, can't they? Got an injured DB. Strong safety left, and Thompson took a blow, and he's trying to make his way off the field. Let's go down to the sidelines in Frank Ford.
You might notice in it left offensive tackle for Miami, number 74, Sherko Haji Rasuli. That's because big Bryant McKinney has dislocated his left ring finger. His return this afternoon is uncertain. Dave?
Big loss.
Big finger.
Sherko Haji Rasuli is out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Good popping in front. Close to a first down. Staples with the tackle for Temple.
You can hear that hit up here in the booth.
How many times have you had a coach say, no, I don't have to see a good hit, I can hear it?
Well, I'll tell you something. It's better to be on the listening end than the receiving end. We used to have a coach, Joe Bugle, who's with the San Diego Chargers now, is the offensive line coach. And Bugles used to say, boys, you can be the hammer or you can be the nail. I've always liked the hammer better.
Yes, indeed. Moss, one-on-one coverage, top of your screen. King in motion. They'll run it with Davenport. Good block, Williams. Davenport can't get it to the corner. Shepard held them from, kept him from getting deeper downfield. Pretty good close by the cornerback, number 21 for Temple.
Pretty good close, but a feeble effort at a tackle.
Yeah.
We talked about, guys that will really come up and stick you. We used to tell guys that were defensive players, if they came up and tried to tackle like that, that was getting into the fetal position. You didn't want to hit anybody. And that's exactly what happens. And I really can't blame a 179-pound cornerback
against Najee Davenport.
235 pounds. Not a fair trade.
Next case. Second down, and let's call it 8. Out of the eye. Davenport again gets the edge. First down, Miami, inside the 15. Power football, folks. Davenport gets up limping. They'll bring in James Jackson.
And Wazuli, 6'6", 310 pounds in there for McKinney. This is a big physical offensive line. When Butch Davis got here, this was more of a pass protection line. They were into throwing the ball and really trying to stretch the field. Now they've got a mix of both, and I think the key is number 11, Dorsey.
There's Dorsey delay. Jackson on the draw, running hard inside the 10 to the 8. Taylor Sumans there, number 50, along with Jamal Wallace, number 9.
And this one is fun as an offensive lineman. You've got a 28-10 lead. You're starting to flex your muscle a little bit, and the offensive coordinator, Larry Coker, is calling plays that, you can really lay back and you can just peel off. Big movement up front. And you know what? Running backs with this type of speed, they don't need much of a hole.
Santana Moss, top of your screen. Play act, check that. They give it to Jackson. Picks up a few more. Approaching 60 yards on the day for James.
Talking to Bobby Wallace yesterday, he was proud of the way his team has played all year long. And when he was at Virginia Tech, 21-13 midway through the third quarter.
Michael Vick had, 3 turnovers and 4. He got sacked 4 times.
And only had 55 yards rushing.
That's right. Wayne and Moss, your wideouts. They've kept this ball on the ground. Let's see what they do here in this 3rd down and 2. Wayne's got one-on-one coverage. They look to Wayne. Slant pattern there. Drops it. Broken up by Terrence Leftwich.
And that's one of the advantages of having a guy that has those type of legs. 6'10" high jumper. And 6 foot tall against a 6'1" receiver. I like to play. I like to throw. Coming right into your living room, folks. Leftwich gets his left arm in there. That's why he's Leftwich. Left arm. Takes it, breaks it up.
He'll be hero of the week.
Exactly.
24-yard field goal is good by Todd Severs, his first of the day. And Severs now in the season is 8 of 10. So a long drive. They used the run game against Bobby Wallace's Temple Ball Club. 31-10 the lead now for Miami. 31-10, Miami over Temple, just under 7 minutes to play. Take a look at the Temple bench.
And you know what they're drawing up there? They're saying, you know what, Miami is a pretty good football team. And they've got some tremendous skilled people. And they've got a quarterback that's going to be a star.
Bruce Robert, Twins, we play it choice, right? Race.
10 plays, 32 yards, 4:17 off the clock. On that last Miami scoring drive is back in action here with Sievers with a high kick. Sharps at about the 3. And taken down at the 17-yard line. Good coverage by Miami. Brown, number 24, in on the tackle along with DJ Williams. Take a look at the Volkswagen Big East leaders. Don Nealon coming up on 150 wins at West Virginia. Frank Beamer, Paul Pasqualoni, Butch Davis moving up the charts as well.
Seems like Frank Beamer has won that many games the last 2 seasons.
That's right.
And you see Butch Davis's numbers against the Big East, 75% winning percentage, best among active coaches.
From the 17, they run Sharps, has been rather quiet. Chris Campbell, you know, we talk so much about Morgan, but Campbell's had a fabulous day, and Al Blade's also in on that tackle, number 7.
And you know what? It's kind of unfair at times that one player on one part of the team gets so much attention.
Sure.
But I can tell you what, if you look at the tape, there's no reason that Dan Morgan's not getting it. I like this guy. Sharps is going to be a big-time player here. And this is not the easiest defense to run on. Ask Florida State.
Corners move up. Handoff, Sharps, nice run into the secondary, looking for some help. Morgan finally tracks him down at the 38-yard line. First down for Temple. Yeah, you were talking about Florida State. Didn't have a lot of success on the ground. 17-yard run by Sharps.
This is probably the best run of the afternoon for Sharps. Good job by his fullback. You know what? This guy can high step a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know who he reminds me of. He's got a little of Eric Dickerson in the lope. You know, he'll lope and then he'll hit that next gear.
Runs kind of straight up too. 13 carries, 36 yards.
Let him run straight up a couple times and let somebody hammer him.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? We'll learn how to drop that chest.
Where were we? A couple of weeks ago, somebody ran through a hole, and the second time he got caught and just got hammered.
And you see Ternardo Sharps' numbers. I said in the pregame, he needed to touch the ball 20 or 25 times and have a big day. 2.8 yards a carry is not getting it done.
Big difference running against Miami as opposed to Rutgers. Last week against Rutgers, $168, 138 of it in the first half. Sharps just went over the 1,000-yard mark for his career. Sophomore from Glen Burnie, Maryland. In motion is Stubbs. This is that quarterback throwback, trying to get it back to Scott with a screen. We saw him work on this. Look at the 2 defensive linemen run that play down. Unbelievable. He had Cornelius Green and William Joseph.
And I thought this play would be a home run if they ran it during the course of the game for one reason. The University of Miami is a over-pursuing football team. Throw the ball to your playmakers. Muckerson, a former quarterback, throws back to Devin Scott. Watch the closing speed of number 94.
And 98.
William Joseph and Cornelius Green. Great hustle.
290 and 250 pounds running free. Unbelievable. Sharps right in the backfield.
I'm going to tell you something. In a couple years, William Joseph will not be running free, but he'll be reasonable.
That's right.
Because he'll be getting paid. You got to like this, don't you? Yeah, what do you do when you're not on the field? Well, ice my head. How does that feel good?
Oof. I'm a little hair deprived, and I wouldn't do that, I'll tell you.
A little hair deprived?
Well, a lot now that I've used that triple blade, let me tell you. Third down. They put Sharps in motion, got him on a linebacker. Miami showing blitz. Guess what? They bring it. Short throw behind the receiver, Terrence Stubbs.
And right now, Miami's defense is dictating to Temple. They're showing blitz. They're making Temple go into the short throw. They're trying to make them hook up on the little slant. It's either feast or famine, and right now it's famine.
I can't say enough about William Joseph, the sophomore from Miami, and number 98, Cornelius Green, the junior from Kilgore, Texas. Spectacular speed for big folks. Ringwelski's fourth punt. Line drive. Santana Moss will not get a chance to field that one either. So the last two punts for Ringwelski, he has punted it away from Moss and out of bounds. Santana will have to get his touches elsewhere. Take a timeout here in Philly with 4:40 to go in a 31-10 Miami ball game. French-style architecture of City Hall here in Philadelphia with William Penn on the top. Years ago, for a lot of years, it was an ordinance in town you couldn't build a building taller than Billy Penn's hat. Of course, that has changed over the last few years at Liberty Center. We're in South Philly.
Can you imagine building that building today?
Oh, please.
You don't get that type of craftsmanship anymore.
Not at all. Not at all. Big East Football, I'm Dave Sims, Jeff Bostic and Frank Fort with us. I want to say I wish a early 75th birthday wish to my dad, Yuli Sims, who's home here in Philadelphia. Man of character and a guy who is a character.
And he's the only guy that I know that has a golfing plaque about how much he talks. Okay? it ain't that he won the club championship. It's because he yaks a lot. So I guess, you know, we talked about the apple not falling far from the tree. You got it honest.
No question about it. How about a scrapper? 4:16 to go, third period. Miami pretty much in control here. 31-10. The story of this game, folks, if you're just joining us. A bad day for both Temple punters first half. And Miami jumped all over it. George Radu and Garvin Ringwelski. There's Moss in motion. And Moss has had a big handprint on this game and going for more. Deep out, got it. The kid can make plays. First down Miami at the 39-yard line.
I'll tell you, the base of making plays is the kid can run. I mean, he runs precise routes. You're talking about a guy that's going to get paid. Next year, Mr. Moss will get paid. Watch how tight he runs this. Watch the right of your screen. Watch how he cuts right there. And you know what? Timing route, the ball's right on the money, uses his hands to catch the football. Pro scouts will like when they see that.
Moss, 4 catches, 97 yards and a touchdown. 18 yards on that pickup. Keep it on the ground. And Jackson was stuffed in the hole pretty well. Clogged up. Good job by the D-line of Temple.
And if you're Butch Davis, there's one thing you're thinking about right now. How quick can we get off of this AstroTurf, get back on the plane, and head to Miami? Next week, they host Louisiana Tech. And then, folks, November 4th, I know you had a big game against, Florida State. The Hokies come to town, and the person that I think will win the Heisman, Michael Vick, should be an outstanding football game.
Probably got a lot of folks agreeing with you on that. Dorsey under pressure. Ooh, up for grabs for Andre King. A couple of Temple Owls had a chance to maybe get an INT.
And there's no quit in this Temple defense. Raheem Brock putting the pressure on right there. Dorsey takes a shot as he gets rid of the football. And you know what? For a tall, rangy kid, pretty good feet in the pocket. He's not a scrambler. Takes a little shot right there. He's not a scrambler, but he has the ability to buy time in the pocket. Sliding around. Joe Montana was not a scrambler, but he could buy time in the pocket. Look at his numbers for the afternoon. 10 for 19, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and guess what? The first pick in forever.
Third down and 9. He'll go out of the gun. 3 wides, 2 to his left. And the play clock runs out. Delay of game on Miami. Let's go down to the sidelines at Frank Fort.
Just a little story about that Florida State game 2 weeks ago for Miami. We talked about the maturity of Ken Dorsey. Well, after Miami turned the ball over to set up Florida State's game-leading drive, Bernie Kosar, the former UM quarterback, was on the sideline, took Dorsey aside and said, look, assume the Seminoles are going to score. You start thinking right now about what you can do to bring your team down the field, what kind of passes they're going to give you. Take what they give you, be patient, you'll score. That's what happened. Good advice from Bernie Kosar.
Frank, great story. And the thing that was great, I was working that game on Westwood One Radio. No happy feet whatsoever. Deep ball, a little too much wobble on it as he tries to get it to Wayne. And that'll bring on the punt team.
And the people in South Florida refer to that as the drive.
As well they should.
How many pro and college teams have the drive? The only one drive that I'm going to ever consider.
Number 7 in orange.
Unbelievable 98-yard drive against Cleveland to take them to the Super Bowl in 1986.
And a week before against the Jets wasn't too shabby either.
I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of quarterbacks, and you can argue about who's the best one ever. If there's anybody better than John Elway, you're going to have to show him to me.
How about DeVito? Back to the 8-yard line. Penalty flag, and DeVito gets hammered at the 15-yard line. What a punt by Freddie Capshaw. Did he get into that or what? 55 yards on that punt by Freddie Capshaw. Let's revisit a couple of weeks ago down in Miami. One of the all-time crowds in the Orange Bowl and one of the terrific performances.
And an unlikely hero, Jeremy Shockey. And what has Florida State become accustomed to with Miami? Well, wide right 3.
Matt Munyon had the distance, but not the accuracy.
Interesting statistic. Florida State, in the 25 years Bobby Bowden has been the head coach, Miami has given him the first loss of the season 9 times.
And I bet 9 of those times is because Bobby didn't have a good enough kicker.
And I'll tell you what, I bet it's cost Bobby Bowden 2 or 3 national championships.
No question. As it is, he's got 2, right?
I bet you that Butch Davis and Bobby don't exchange Christmas cards. What do you think?
And Ed Sperry in there too in Florida.
Yeah, everybody's recruiting the same guys, aren't they?
What an unbelievable talent base. Temple from its 5. Boy, there was some action there. Did you see that? Running back got a great start, and then he was erased. Campbell, again, number 48. Also, 94, William Joseph.
And you know, anybody that's a golfer, you know, you can take the club back to new titaniums, and when you hit the ground, you can see the sparks fly off from them. That's about what happened when these helmets met down here on the 5-yard line. Tremendous collision.
Harold Jackson was the ball carrier.
In my opinion, this is the best place on the field to throw deep.
Let's see if they do. Not showing blitz. They don't blitz. They run it. Nothing doing there.
Chris Campbell is quietly having a tremendous game this afternoon.
That carry by Jason McKee, and I'm going to be stunned if Campbell doesn't get out of here with close to 20 tackles.
And he's already had 2 sacks and counting.
There's Jamal Green. How about him? 6'3", 250-pound sophomore. He's got a 4.78 in the 40. 400-pound bench, squats 450, and he's already got a couple sacks today.
And we talked about Miami's offensive line with only 1 senior. Miami's defense only starting 3 seniors.
Got Matt Walters at nose guard right now. One of the tackles, rather. 3rd down play. Scott throws. Catch is made out of bounds, but it's short. It's short of the first down by a yard. Oh, that's a killer for a coach, right? And an offense. Cobb didn't run deep enough. Leaves it a yard short.
And Bobby Wallace has no choice except to punt the football. There you go. Make the smart move. Keep your team in this ball game. But this is a poor job by your wide receiver. You know where the chains are. You've got to get at least a yard or 2 past them. If you come back to the ball, it's still going to be a first down.
Ringwelski and Moss. This is a dangerous proposition here for Temple. Moss at his own 48. Ringwelski's kicked the last 2 out of bounds. His 5th punt. Line drive returnable. Moss at the 50. 45, 40. Oh, he stumbled down. He was up, pretty much guaranteed at least another 10 yards. Nonetheless, good field position for Miami. 36 yards on the punt, not real good. 12 yards the return. And the ball's at the 39 of Temple for Miami.
This field has tackled a lot of people, believe me. A line drive punt Santana Moss, you know what? I think he saw the hole.
Yep.
His brain was operating faster than his feet were.
He saw it. There's no question.
But you know what? This turf has tripped so many people.
Yeah. Hey, it was down at this end of the field where Wendell Davis went up for the Bears a few years ago. Came down with 2 wrecked knees. Remember that?
Tell you what, the one thing that they have improved are where those base seams are for baseball.
Reverse, Santana Moss. Dorsey threw a decent enough block. Moss, one man to beat. First down, Miami, 15-yard line.
I am really shocked by this call offensively for Miami. You know, you're looking at a 31-10 lead. You've got a 21-point lead. Well, you put your hands on the ball. You know, you got to be Santana Moss, and you got to turn those jets up. I'm really surprised Miami's opting to use these type of plays with a 21-point lead.
About a 24-yard pickup. Final 40 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Moss, 24 yards. They give him credit on that one. Jackson, about 3 or 4. As he winds down this quarter, Jason Davis on the tackle, helping on the tackle, number 55. Dan Klecko returns to action for Temple.
We talked about it at halftime. You know, Temple's ability to put aside what happened in the first half. When they look at this third quarter, they've played hard. They've held Miami to 3 points. Their offense hasn't contributed. I got to believe Bobby Wallace is happy with what he saw in the third quarter. Effort is the big one.
And the third quarter has run out. So just a 3 spot on the board in the third quarter. But 31-10 is the score with Miami in the lead. Sharps, that's one of his better runs of the day, but it's been all about the Miami defense. Well, these guys don't look like graduates, maybe future graduates here at Temple University. It's homecoming for the Owls. They lead, they trail 31-10 coming into the fourth quarter. Bobby Wallace needs some offense. When he gets the ball back, he needs a defensive stand right here, though, because Miami is threatening. Here's Dorsey, hot hand, and a drop by the tight end, Ivan Mercer. Let's get another update. AT&T Studios. Here's Mike Gleason.
Dave, BC in Pittsburgh. A big day for John Turman. Walt Harris said he is the #1 quarterback. Last week he said David Priestley is #2 now. And Turman, little shovel pass, but that goes in the books for his 4th touchdown. And right now it's 28-13 Pittsburgh over BC. $1:05 to go in the third. Let's go back to Dave and Jim.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Pittsburgh looking to go 5-1.
They weren't even set.
Jackson to the 5. Gets inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. Tackled by Jamal Wallace.
And Walt Harris in Pittsburgh. Anybody that saw the overtime loss to Syracuse, Nick Lutz missed a short field goal during the overtime that would have won the game. You see the Big East standings. Everybody's pointing to November 4th with the Virginia Tech Miami countdown, but the Pittsburgh Panthers would be very close if they hold on to this lead to being 6-0. And West Virginia is an improved football team. The team that I'm really questioned about are the Syracuse Orangemen. We had them last week, and they've got to be miffed how they lost that game at BC.
Remarkable. 1st and goal at the 4 for Miami. Jackson finds a hole, carries a defender into the end zone for a touchdown. James Jackson is a talented runner there. Senior, 5'11", 215, carried LeVar Talley in. And Miami makes it 37-10.
And Dave, the sign of a good football team is winning the games that you're supposed to win. Not maybe be coming into the game 100% emotionally, but physically doing what it takes to win the game and going home.
Jackson, 14 carries, 70 yards, his first touchdown today. 5th on the season. Seavers, the point after is good. Dominating performance by the 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. It's 38-10 here in Philadelphia. James Jackson, tremendous vision, great ability to cut. He's a big talent. Well, Butch Davis got a lot to smile about here, up 38-10 with still a lot of the 4th quarter to play, so might have an opportunity to see a lot of his youngsters second and third stringers get an opportunity to play today.
And I'm really surprised when I look at the numbers, Dave. University of Miami, 307 yards of total offense. Temple University, 160. I thought those numbers would be a little bit higher for Miami. And the one thing that's not added in there, punt return yards. It's been a big key this afternoon.
We'll take a look at that. And Sharp's about 5 yards deep. We'll keep it right there. Good decision. Lawrence Wade giving him the signal. Since halftime, Miami's put 144 yards in the books to Temple's 39.
And I'm also somewhat surprised that we haven't seen Mike Frost, who started the past 2 weeks at quarterback. Devin Scott has been very solid, dependable, and it gives them that mobility. But with a 38-10 lead, this is another experience thing that, you know, you throw the young man in there, Mike Frost, a junior college transfer out of California, and getting some experience against a top-notch football team.
Good Sharps in motion. Talk about a guy with a target on his back. Quick hitch pass outside. Oh! And that hit was on 2 Miami guys hitting each other. Sean Dillard with the reception. How about that pursuit? The speed. As we take a look at our Beck's Beer game summary. 5 sacks for the Canes today. Santana Moss, wow, 241 yards all purpose. 2 scores. Dorsey, good day. And Sharps, well, it's been a struggle, to put it mildly.
That sounds good. You think I'm talking Sharps, don't you? I'm talking Becks.
Yeah. Screen. They get it to Sharps. Pretty good job to get about 8 yards as Devin Scott was harassed. And we got a fumble, and Miami has taken over. Jamal Green with the recovery.
Tremendous collision. We could hear it up here, but we couldn't quite see it. Obviously, the ball pops free. Bobby Wallace has got to be scratching his head. Watch the collision. First contact is number 44, Dan Morgan. Simply rakes the ball out of Sharp's hands.
Right. Second effort. He was trying to get second effort, and then an easy recovery for Jamal. Turnovers, 1 for Temple, 2 for Miami. Great field position right now. 27-yard line. They send King in motion. Running play, Davenport. Delivers a blow. Look at that. Finally, little rodeo action there by Jamal Wallace. Hanging on for dear life, too.
I bet if you would have asked Bobby Wallace and his staff yesterday afternoon, with 13.5 minutes to go in this football game, you know what you're going to have? You want to talk about a physical run? This is what a 235-pound running back does. Watch his legs. His shoe comes off. Nothing can stop this young man. But if you had asked Bobby Wallace, you know, you're going to hold Miami to 307 yards of offense. You're not going to commit a first turnover until 13.5 minutes to go when you take it. And he would have never counted on a 38-10 lead.
Pitch and catch to Darrell Jones. Picks up the first out for Miami. Down to the 11-yard line. Leftwich covering for Temple. A long throw across field. We had, again, a whole bunch of cushion. The ball's at the 11-yard line for the Canes. It's Jones in motion. Little cut back as your counter action there as the handoff goes to Davenport.
And now Davenport loses that shoe once again. And it is easy to lose shoes on the turf because a lot of guys now playing in tennis shoes. The same kind you'd be playing out in your backyard with, kids. So keep those shoes. You may need them at some point.
Ain't that the truth?
Or you know what? Let's get a better idea. Let's take this turf up and plant grass.
Talked to some Phillies officials yesterday. Working on replacing this. Jackson outside. Got a super block. DJ Williams. He's inside the 2-yard line. DJ Williams. Boy, a Lorenzo Neal type of block out there on the right corner.
And you saw Jackson after he took the pitch. He hit 4th gear, 5th gear, and then he slammed it into 6th. That's what I like about running backs that have the burst. Watch Jackson turn it up. He's jogging right there. He sees it. Tremendous collision down near the goal line. Number 89, Raheem Brock, with the hit.
15 carries, 77, now 79 yards. Fumble. Loose ball. Where is it?
Touchback.
How about that? Miami going in for a score. Similar situation. Not in, certainly was a much tighter game 2 weeks ago. Chris Winkie of Florida State, same type of deal. They're inside the 2-yard line. They try to pass, and Dan Morgan picked it off. And here's an opportunity gone by for Miami.
And this is probably poetic justice. You know what? This Temple defense is, you know, they've bent, but they haven't broke this afternoon. And this is like a rugby scrum right here. The ball's rolling around.
It's like Taylor Suman got it. That's indeed who it is.
But this will give Butch something to work on next week.
Yeah, it looked like Dorsey pulled out a little too soon.
Well, you know what? The quarterback will go to the sideline and he'll always blame the center. And the center will go to the offensive line coach and he'll tell him, you know, the quarterback left early. It's not whether you win or lose, it's where you lay the blame.
And how well you sell it. On the ground again. Dan Morgan racks up another tackle. Short gain. Lester Trammer, T-R-A-M-M-E-R, redshirt sophomore from Greenbelt, Maryland.
You know, I don't want to second guess, so I'm going to first guess. I don't know why Butch Davis has his entire starting defense on the field in a 38-10 game.
With who next? Louisiana Tech? Good question.
You know, you pop a turf toe, somebody falls on your ankle or something, and all of a sudden you got a big-time starter lost.
It's a tight end, Tyrone Ditzel, right in the hands, slightly behind him, but a very catchable ball and a drop.
It's been that type of day for the Temple offense. Look at Devin Scott, he's shaking his head. You know, they had so much. They were eagerly looking forward to playing Miami.
Yep.
They were loose. They were free yesterday. You know, no care. And they came into this game with no expectations of winning this thing. They could play nothing but the spoiler. And I'll tell you, if it weren't for their punting attack, this might be a much closer, tighter game.
No question about it. And they didn't need a rate guy kind of performance. Oh, there's a pick, and there's an easy touchdown. Won't get much easier than that for Edward Reed, the junior from St. Rose, Louisiana. His 3rd pick of the season, 21 yards on the return.
Simple case of your quarterback trying to do too much. The ball hangs in the air. Edward Reed, right guy on the spot. You know, so the pressure's coming down your throat. You get rid of the football a little bit quicker than you have to. Eric Reed walks into the end zone, adds to a Miami lead that's currently at 44-10.
I think Butch can empty the bench now.
And I think he should empty the bench.
Laces weren't to Seaver's liking. He got hit, but he bangs it through. 45-10. Edward Reed. All he needed was a ribbon on that one. 10-11 to go, 4th quarter. Improved over the last couple of years. This is a big improvement this year, coming in 1-2, 4-3. Keep in mind, Miami is pretty much back, folks. 5th ranked in the country, and they've got a lot of weapons, and they've used them pretty well today. Edward Reed putting a score on the board, a 21-yard interception return, and 6 TDs scored by Miami's defense so far this season, with 4 games left on the schedule. 5 games, my mistake. Not a bad ratio. Seavers. And they'll keep it right there. Nice deep kick. And a good job to keep it in the end zone by Terrence Leftwich. Take a look at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. The best part, our people. And we take you back. 2nd quarter, Temple had got a freebie for a touchdown, 14-10. First play, Dorsey to Moss, 67 yards. Look at my back as I take it in. 21-10, that made it for Miami. And
I wonder if Santana knows his hat's on sideways.
Believe me, he knows. It's a generational
That's
thing.
the deal thing, right?
Yeah, that's a generational thing. I was always...
That goes with the earring and the tattoo, right?
Yeah, very much so. We're showing our age. Did you see the artwork that Cherokee Parks had on last night in the NBA? He must have his entire, left elbow up into his shoulder with artwork. Unbelievable.
He may not be as bad as a former Temple alum that's playing for the Washington Redskins, who
Trey Johnson
had reconstructive surgery on his knee. Trey Johnson.
Big East football. I'm Dave Sims. Jeff Bostic and Frank Fort with us. 45-10, the 5th-ranked team in the country really has unleashed its power today. Scott still in there at quarterback, and a nice cutback by Schrammer. Schrammer finally run down by Moser in the secondary. Nice run to the 44-yard line. Pickup of 18 yards. Aaron Moser on the tackle. Let's go down the sidelines. Interesting story before the game, right, Frank?
Well, guys, the Temple defense hasn't had a great game, but I know one guy who has, and that is Raheem Brock, number 89. Not only did he recover the fumble for the touchdown, but prior to the game, when the teams left the field, he took his fiancée, Desiree Williams, out to the middle of the field, got down on one knee, proposed to her, and she accepted. And, guys, that's a question you better know the answer to before you plan something like that.
Oh, you got that right. That's exactly what I was thinking. She comes up waving, no good, NG. That's a long walk back to the locker room.
Woo. You're talking about having some butterflies before the game.
Yeah, man, W pleasure, I don't know. There's a good look at Raheem. A touchdown, the only one Temple scored today, to his credit.
And he's one of the 3 co-captains and one of the 3 seniors on this 2-deep team. Bobby Wallace is doing a tremendous job, I said earlier, of laying the foundation. But he told us one thing yesterday. He said, when I inherited this program 2 years ago, he said, we had about 35 guys that weren't good people. He said, we weeded that out last year to about 10 guys. And he said, this year, he said, we may have 1 or 2, but it won't take us long to weed all those guys out. And he has one little statement that he lives by. Success will come from good athletes who are good people. And I tell you what, I saw that firsthand when I was with the Washington Redskins, and one guy that leaves an indelible impression in your football mind for the rest of your life, a guy that I was fortunate enough to play for, Joe Gibbs. He used to say every year, the toughest job I have are picking the right 47 people. Football games are not won by athletes. They're won by good people who are good athletes.
Proven time and again by a lot of the successful ball clubs in all realms of sport, no doubt about it. 1st and 10 for the Owls. Almost in midfield. Scott throws short. Gets it to Terrence Stubbs out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Well, a lot of people here in Philadelphia are saying, hey, with all the success that Temple has had, 4-3 coming in today. Tremendous success down in North Alabama. A lot of people think that this might have been just a stopover for Bobby, but he says, hey, I'm committed. I like this place. I like the move, having moved up from the south to the north. Enjoy it here. A lot of things to do. Cosmopolitan city.
And I told him, I said, Bobby, a couple more years, and anybody that knows Bobby Wallace, I said, you may even be talking like a, Philadelphia. He goes, well, I think I'd have to go all the way back to school to do that.
That's funny. Schrammer looking for room. Nice game. Picks up about 4.
Jovanovic, the left tackle, he's shaking his head. He was trying to block the defensive end inside. And that's the one thing about an offensive lineman. You don't have a rearview mirror. You don't get to see where the running back's going. Running back runs right into his man.
79 is Dave Jovanovic.
You're talking about the Iron Man. Gosh, 19 straight starts. Played every snap last year. Folks, try and do that. You're going to jam a thumb. You're going to do something to come out of a game. Not this guy.
Fake it to Schrammer. And they get it to McKee. Now you like that. Delivers a blow to Al Blades. McKee had his troubles holding on to the ball in the first half. Big East football season rolls on next week from ESPN Plus. We're back in Boston. Take a look at the explosive BC Eagles as they continue their march toward a bowl berth. They'll face off against a team that really, really needs a W. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That's next week at noon Eastern. Rutgers, BC, here on the Big East Network. Check your local listings.
Two of the top passing offenses in the conference.
Get an update on some scores here. I know Rutgers was playing at Navy. Last score I saw was 14 on. Now it's 28-14 Rutgers. Fourth quarter at Navy. So Terry Shea and company.
Number 98 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
28-14 Rutgers over Navy. So in Central Jersey, maybe a few smiles.
Notre Dame's got a 42-21 lead over West Virginia, which has got to be disappointing to Don Nehlen and his staff going into this game at 4-2.
Temple's got 13 penalties today for 72 yards. First and 15, Scott. Decent time. Now flushed. But he's going to hit from behind. Oh, boy. We can see it up here. You're talking about eyes in the back of your head. He could have used them there. Quick close by Kenny Dangerfield.
Dangerfield. That's a classic name, isn't it? You don't hear the name Dangerfield unless you think, you know, I don't get any respect.
Exactly right.
You know what? He gets a little bit of respect here. And you're fortunate as a running back or a quarterback here, being hit from behind, that you do not fumble the football. See how Scott's got his hand over the edge of the ball? That's exactly the way you're supposed to hold the ball. You will not fumble the ball typically.
Dangerfield's from Patterson, Louisiana. Second down play. Slant thrown behind the receiver. Had him too.
And Scott patted himself on the helmet. He realizes he needs to make that type of completion.
Tried to get it to Shepard. Check that, number 27, Charles Cobb. Yeah, it doesn't take much in terms of being off. A couple of degrees here and there, and you're in trouble. Cobb and Dillard go to the top of your screen for this 3rd down and 7 at the 30-yard line. Scott 12 of 24, 105 yards, no touches, 1 pick. Flush, in trouble, down he goes. Larry Anderson got him, but a good job by number 56 to get in there to really get him going. Santonio Thomas.
We talked about it earlier. When you've got a big lead and your offensive coordinator's calling running plays, you know what? That's fun. Now, if you're a defensive lineman and it's a passing situation and the other team's behind, you can really pin your ears back. Good job by number 97, Larry Anderson, the 6'4", 260-pound sophomore.
6th sack this afternoon by Miami.
And quite possibly the longest sleeves in NCAA history. He doesn't want any burns on his arms.
Knocked on. That's a good play. Look at that. Yet another one. They've got some serious, serious athletes on this ball club. Knocked down by LeVar Scott. Scott got knocked down, picked himself up, and just broke up that play. Good look at Greg Mark, defensive line coach here at Miami from nearby Cherry Hill, New Jersey. A lot to be proud about. His team up by 5 scores. Back everybody, Dave Sims, Jeff Bostic, and Frank Fort with you. Miami, big lead over the Temple Owls here on homecoming at Vet Stadium in Philadelphia. New quarterback for the Hurricanes is Ethnic Sands out of Carroll City, Florida. His first play, a handoff to Najee Davenport, who draws a crowd. Taylor Suman and a whole bunch. Temple Owls are there. Time now for Where Are They Now? It's brought to you by the good folks at hotjobs.com. And Dan Marino, talk about some numbers. Look at that. Career records Pitt. Yards, TD passes, single season TD pass record. 17 years in the big time.
And if he could only have thrown one more touchdown.
1980, let's see, Super Bowl.
No. If he had thrown one more touchdown, either his college or professional career, he would have wound up with a nice round 500.
Sands on the rollout. Nice catch. Gets it to Andre Johnson, redshirt freshman from Miami Senior High School. So Ethnic Sands, a two-time high school state champion as quarterback at UM. He was a wide receiver a year ago and moved back to quarterback when Kenny Kelly left to go play baseball. He's an option quarterback in high school. Spells his first name E-T-H-E-N-I-C.
Now, getting back to Dan Marino, do the math on this. 21 years of football, 499 touchdown passes, 23 per year average.
Davenport runs for a couple of tackles, loses the ball. Penalty flag on the play as well. And Temple has recovered. The Temple ball. We got an injured out back upfield.
That's Russell Newman. The Temple staff can only hope that there's nothing wrong with this young man, especially with the off and on again health of Dan Klecko. Right there, the ball is stripped, and it kind of rolls around for a while. Right there it is.
Jamal Wallace got it. Easiest recovery he'll have. Davenport's running downfield, and I dropped the ball. I forgot it. It slipped.
And it's good to see that Russell Newman is walking off the field on his own power. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. I know Bobby Wallace concerned about it. And you know what? If your offensive teammates will just wait until they get the young man off the field, right? I know you're anxious to play, but
4:17 to go in the contest. Evan Scott looks like he's going to go the distance today. Scott, not a good throw. Tried to get it to Lester Tremor. He's going out to the sidelines in Frank Fortin.
Well, guys, as you may know, Miami redesigned their uniforms this season. They're wearing green pants for the first time in quite a long time, since way back in the old days. And next week, this is the green jersey they'll wear for the first time this year. They'll wear it against Louisiana Tech. They had green jerseys brought in about 2 seasons ago, but of course they changed the design this year along with Nike, and this is the green ones they'll be wearing next week for the first time.
Boys, it's all about multiple looks in uniforms these days. Lord knows in baseball, a lot of teams, Frank, multiple caps. I know out in Arizona.
And that means moms and dads buying multiple different jerseys.
Tell me about it.
Is it called Marketing 101?
You got it. I had my oldest son the other day. Hey, John, when he's on a Philly, could you stop by Peter's store and pick up?
How about this one? How many times have the St. Louis Rams, LA Rams changed their jerseys in 30 years?
Honestly,
none. They win one Super Bowl, change the jersey.
Well, you know what? I was watching something the other day. NFL Films, they were doing a piece on Bernie Casey, who now, you remember Bernie Casey? You didn't play against him, but he's now the chairman of the board, Savannah School of Art. And they were showing footage of him with the Rams, and they had like almost a navy blue with white numbers back in the 60s. Before that, they went with gold jerseys, and now this year they switched again. A lot of short passes. If you catch a ball like that, sometimes it's best to go down.
You better find the ground and find it fast. You're talking about an offensive explosion. I don't think I've ever seen anything remotely close to what the St. Louis Rams do to defenses in the National Football League.
How do you get ready for it?
You got 3 wide receivers that run 4-3. You've got the best all-purpose running back that maybe the league has ever seen in Marshall Faulk. And you know what? You got a quarterback 3 years ago that was bagging groceries. Imagine that.
Unbelievable. 4th and short. Screen left side. Tremor's got it with room. Got some good blocks. Picks up the first down to the 41-yard line. We got a happy young man in this building today. A buddy of ours. He's the executive producer of the Temple University Radio Network, Chet Zukowski. His daughter, Christine, just won the South Atlantic Figure Skating Championship in Harrisburg. And she now becomes a member of the U.S. Junior National Figure Skating Team and heads to Denver, Colorado in December. So Chet's walking around, big smile on his face.
Well, Christine, congratulations. What do your mom and dad make us proud?
That's right.
Make us proud.
Here's Scott with time. Goes to McKee. Ooh. Do these people come and close in a heartbeat or what? 2 weeks ago when I was doing Florida State, Miami, that may have been the most speed I've seen on one field together at the same time. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Well, you're probably looking at somewhere in the vicinity of, 8, 10 guys that will play professionally next year.
No question.
And probably with all 4 classes, you're probably looking at 50 to 60 guys that will play professional football on the field at the same time.
Amen. 139 and counting. Trammer's got some pretty good quicks.
If you're Bobby Wallace and the Temple coaching staff, it always takes 2 running backs to carry the load at a major university. They've got to like what they see in Sharps, and I like what I see in Trammer. Both of them are somewhat the same type of runner, kind of short, darty. Just in his stance, he looks a little bit like Barry Sanders.
Sharps had a nightmare today. Can't say we're surprised against a good Miami defense. 14 carries for 37 yards for the leading rusher in the conference, who was averaging $113 a game, 13th national. And coming in, Sharps accounted for 73% of Temple's offense.
And if you ask Bobby Wallace, are you trying right now to become the Miamis and Virginia Techs? No, they want to be the Syracuse and the Boston College and slowly build on that. And you know what? They're on the right track. I like what I see in improvement in the last couple of years.
Scott, deep throw through the hands. Interception attempt made by James Scott. He's already got one on the season with a 29-yard return. He couldn't come up with it this time, but yet the Temple receiver had an opportunity. Ike Chukwu out of Largo, Maryland. I want to thank Fred King, our stage manager, stats, Rich Freesia, and Lou Camiza helping us out here at the Vet.
And we got to thank all the sports information directors from Miami and Temple. They make our job easy on game day.
Play into the end zone. Penalty flags all over. Tried to get it to the tight end, Tyrone Ditzel.
Incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
Jonathan Vilma covering for Miami as Butch Davis and his staff check the big video board here at the Vet.
Pass interference, defense, the 15-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
One of the few times that the Miami Hurricanes have been penalized this afternoon. Obviously, too much use of hands. Good job, though. I like the acting job by number 51, Vilma. Even if you've done something, if you throw your hands up and look innocent, sometimes you get away with it. Not this time. He's still pleading his case. They're not going to reverse the call. Go on. Move forward, young man. Now he's trying to sell his teammates on he didn't do it. Move forward.
1st and 10 at the 13. Trammer's in motion. Scott, slant. Penalty flags again. They can't get enough to throw at him. That was Marquise Fitzgerald. Didn't expect to see much of him today.
They won't let this clock go away, will they?
Pass interference. Defense will be a spot foul. First down.
Butch Davis is saying, let's get on the bus, let's head to the airport, and let's go home. Fitzgerald's just a split second early. Watch his hands. Right hand right there on the shoulder of the wide receiver. Good call by the officials.
.26 seconds to go. There's a throw to McKee. Kept out of the end zone. Tackled by James Scott. That stopped the clock with 20 seconds to go.
And I'll guarantee you the Miami defense does not want to let Temple get in the end zone.
That's right. There's not been an offensive score, touchdown by the Owls.
And although you've got the backups, look at all the defensive players standing along the side of the field. You think they're not concerned about their teammates and what's happened this afternoon?
Temple with 20 seconds to go. Trammer. Good push. Temple calls a timeout. Stops the clock with 13 seconds to go.
Well, Dave, we talked about it at the half. Can Temple take this thing and compartmentalize it and take the first half away? Well, if they can somehow put this ball in the end zone the last 13 seconds of the game, they leave here with a 17-7 second half, and that's something to build on.
Absolutely. Bob Lang, the assistant SID here at Temple, we thank him. We thank Bob Berta and his staff, Doug Walker and Joe Hornstein, for all their help in getting ready for this game. Here's Miami's remaining schedule. Louisiana Tech is next up, and then they finish up in the conference. Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Boston College.
I'm going to tell you, the Miami-Florida State game was a big one. The Virginia Tech Hokies and the Miami Hurricanes, November 4th. That's going to be monster game. Monster Bowl 1. Big East Championship on the line. And I think what has to happen in that football game, I think Miami, if I had to pick a team to win it, I would say Miami will win that game unless one thing happens. Number 7 goes into the phone booth, puts on his cape, turns into Superman, and carries the team on his shoulders.
If I remember correctly, I'm going to look up the score here, but Virginia Tech put a big number on them last year, right?
But the game was much closer. It kind of got away from them in the fourth quarter.
Okay, and that game was at Blacksburg.
Exactly.
And this year it's going to be in the Orange Bowl. 3rd down and goal and touchdown. Touchdown for Temple. And they got it to their fullback, Harold Jackson. It's his first TD this season.
You know, Bobby Wallace and this Temple squad are not looking for moral victories, but you certainly like to see your offense punch one in here this late into the game. Jackson is a force, 6'2", 250 pounds. And even in a loss, 45-17, you know what? Bobby Wallace can build on this. This score is not indicative of how this game was played.
Gonna go for the point after. Jared Davis is on. And he's got it. So we've got 10 seconds left on the clock here in Philly. 45-17, 5th-ranked Miami leading Temple. We'll be back in a moment. Today's game has been brought to you by Polaris. Leave your stress behind and take the time to get away. Polaris, the way out. Volkswagen, on the road of life. There are passengers and there are drivers. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Beck's, a beer apart. HotJobs.com. Hot Jobs, onward, upward. And by Fleet. Together, we're moving forward, always thinking. Harold Jackson with the touchdown, a 1-yard run capping an 11-play, 59-yard drive. 4:07 off the clock. Final 10 seconds. Just want to make this other note here. 43-10, Virginia Tech beat Miami at Blacksburg a year ago. Look at this onside kick setup. Might as well get a chance to practice it, right? Has to go 10 yards, and Miami recovers.
That was one of the most bizarre onside kicking formations I've ever seen. I don't understand what the totem, we used to call that totem when you get 3 or 4 guys in one line behind, except you typically saw it from the wide receiver position. Unusual. I don't know what they're standing over there for. You know, well, do like soccer, play down. Play down, right?
Difficult to prep for, that's for sure. I mean, you know, if you're out there, you're looking at what the heck are they doing? Yeah. And if you're saying that to yourself, it's already been effective. I think Troy Prasic has come in to take the last snap. Take a knee, and that'll do it. So the 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes, they had an opening, and they took advantage of it. A poor performance by the Temple punters in the first half. Miami jumped all over them. And they converted them into scores. 45-17 the final. Remember, next week on the Big East Network, we'll be back in Boston for the BC Rutgers game for Frank Fort and Jeff Bostic. I'm Dave Sims. Thanks for joining us here from Philadelphia. Miami wins it big over Temple, 45-17. Good afternoon, everyone.